One, two, guys. Welcome to the closing argument. We are having some technical problem here. Uh, yeah, we are having technical problem. We are having some technical problem here. It won't let us go live. Closing argument. So, okay, we are good. We are good, guys. Welcome to the closing argument. We are now on Facebook Live. Let me send a new link to the guys. Uh, we are now live. Uh, yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the closing acumen. We're gonna send a new link, guys. Yes, we are. We are here now. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the closing acumen. Uh, Let me go to the guys who are waiting. The guys will be joining us shortly. Timothy George is back, guys. Christian Roberts, yes, you are live. You are the first person joining us here today. Christian Roberts, welcome. There's a lot happening we've been hearing about. There's a lot going on, and we encourage you to just as you log on, share the link. Share the link as you log on. Yeah, just share the link for us, guys. Welcome to the closing argument. We are looking forward to action pack. Action pack. Okay. Uh, Welcome, guys. Welcome. It's interesting. It's a lot happening. President Boaka has returned from his trip to Nigeria. The president went to Nigeria and he returned for the ECOWAS summit. There were rumors going around that the president was vying to be the chairman. I don't know how true that it is. There's rumors that was going around. But guys, we have breaking news. There's breaking news, and we'll bring that to you live through Front Page Africa. Let me just recognize some of you guys. Emmanuel Ma, watching from Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for watching. Zizi Evans, Bala, the show live on Hot FM. So if you're in Monrovia, Hot FM, you're watching the Closing Acumen guy. James Coyote, good evening, Closing Acumen family. Welcome, James. Welcome, Joe Wega, George. We are Peking. Welcome, Joe. He's following us from Kigali in Rwanda. Oh, bro, welcome. Thank you. Uh, James is watching from Duper Road. Uh, Good evening, Paul and Moen. Is watching from Bapu. Otello Swa is watching from New Hope, PA. Welcome, Otello. It is good to have all of you guys here today. There's a lot of things happening. Our panelists will be joining us shortly. Timberland George is back. He's not well, but he's probably recovered now. He's doing well. So welcome. Timberland will be here shortly, but it's a lot happening in Liberia. In the next 3 weeks, we'll be celebrating. We live on Truth FM. O'Neill, Ora, Robert, Izuma. Thank you, O'Neill. Thank you. Bilson Pay. How you doing, Bilson? How's the ATL? We'll be there in August, God's willing. The ATL. Thompson B. Boss is watching from Australia. AU looking forward to a great show. We have a yellow government, so everything in the country is yellow. Roof Robert Pengbach. He said, Peabody, thank you for keeping up with the closing acumen. Look, Roof, the closing acumen here is to stay. We will not go down. We are doing our best. It's been a lot of forces, whether people that say the evil forces fighting. We've had a lot of issues. Sometimes people going around say certain people should be calling. That's people will not come on our show. Our show is this and that. But look, man, we are doing our best. The closing argument here to stay. We'll bring it to you as it is. We are very fair. We have people from all background here. So it's not just one group, but we have people from all background and they express their view differently. So we encourage you. Edmund Wilson, thank you for watching from Canada. Alberta, Canada. Guys, look, as you make your way, we just ask you that you share the show. Philip Kate is watching from London. He said hi to you. Hey, Philip. What's up, Philip? I'll be in the Europe area this month. In about 2 weeks, I'll be in Europe at the Association of Liberia Fellowship AFLA. They're going to be having the Independence Day in Wolfsburg, Germany on July 26th to the 29th. So I'm going to be there representing the closing acumen in Wolfsburg, Germany. So if you're in the Europe area and you can make it to Wolfsburg, come on, let's celebrate with the Liberians Association. So welcome, guys. As you are watching, I'm encouraging you to share as well. Share the show. It will be an action-packed tonight, big action-packed. We are also hearing that the Finance Minister of the Republic of Liberia, Burma Kamara, is resigning. Unconfirmed report, but the Liberia Front Page Africa is reporting. So if Front Page is reporting, then absolutely they are the most credible Liberia print media that you can talk about. Front Page Africa print media. Peter said, what you have to say about the yellow machine, bro? I told you the yellow machine is already in town. People were crying. It's a good thing. Look, don't get me wrong. I support the president in bringing the yellow machine to Liberia and creating more roads to Liberia. But how is it going to be paid for? Who's going to pay for this yellow machine? Who's going to shoulder the bill? Who's going to shoulder the responsibility and all of that? That's what I'm talking about. But I support the effort. Bring the machine in. Liberia needs roads. There are a lot of places in Liberia that the roads are disconnected. People don't have the means of going the farm to market roads. I support it, but it is going to be something that's going to bring a huge debt to the Liberian government. If for generation, you young guys in the country, if there's something that from generation to generation, kids that are born today will inherit debt until they die. But I support it. But who's paying for it? Who's going to be responsible? How much is this yellow machine going to cost? When did it come? Who is donating this yellow machine? That's what the Liberian people want to know. I think it's fair enough. Tell the people. This is a government of transparency. They want to be transparent. Let the Liberian people know who's giving this machine, who's paying for it, what the cost associated with this machine. How, what in turn that's going to happen? Well, are we giving anything in return for this yellow machine, or it was a donation free? So the Liberian people want to know. They really want to know what's going on. So, guys, I encourage you to share the show. It's going to be a great show tonight. A lot of things happening. The TRC Wahala and all of that. If you watch the show Friday, boy, it was an action-packed. A lot of things went on. A lot of things happened on Friday. I'm telling you, a lot of things were disclosed. And you'll be surprised what we got again to disclose to you. Professor Larry Kennedy is our expert here, and he makes sure that he brings it to us live. We have a live expert who knows when it comes to the different way government run and the different avenue, the lobbies, government paying lobbies and all of that. We also got another news that today we read in the Front Page Africa that the former foreign minister was barred. He got a job that did not require the Liberian government to approve to get that position. We understand that the foreign minister, the minister of state, they blackmailed the man. I mean, that is not good. Look, I'm not a fan of, but I follow this guy, Minister D. Maxwell Kimia, you know, and when I got to know who he was and some of the things that he did at the foreign ministry, I mean, some of the areas that he had to close down, some of the passport that he had to take from foreigners that had our diplomatic passport, I got to get, I gained a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for Mr. Kimia. I mean, the foreign ministry, I had a chance to go there and tour the ministry. I mean, this guy did an excellent job at the foreign ministry. If you go to foreign ministry, I mean, you're talking about a state of an art building, and he was able to secure money, not from the Liberian government, but from the Saudi government, the Moroccan government that built that ministry. And this guy served well. And to be offered a job with ECOWAS for like for Liberia only because he's not part of your party. He write a letter and telling the people that they shouldn't accept him, even though the government got nothing to do with it. That was wrong. Tumali, welcome, man. Welcome. I mean, I've been trying to hold it down for you, Tumali. I've been trying my best to hold it down for you. So now you are back. Man, it's my honor to turn the seat back to you, Tumali George.
Hey, the body. It's good to be back, man. On the closing argument. After a long break, but it's good to be back. And I returned to the country last week. I came back ill, but I'm happy to be back. The last of news going around, trending in the country. Uh, I want to say thank you, man. Thank you for holding it down, and all the guys. You guys have done a remarkable job. The closing argument is here to stay, and we're not going nowhere. Like President Biden is saying right now, he said, "I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to run." Closing argument is here to stay. But it's good to be back. I want to say hi to all our viewers, all our supporters from far and near. Uh, you won't believe it, but we are doing a great job. Don't mind what you hear people say, other people say, but we are doing a great job. Whenever you go someplace, people recognize right away, and they call you, "Oh, closing argument," and you get to understand what's happening in the country when you visit the country and interact with people from all walks of life and the various political spectrum. But the news from Liberia in the last few hours, the last few days have not been too good. Lots of mixed reactions. I was trying to inquire. The Minister of Finance, I heard he resigned, but I went to reach out to the Minister of Information and the Press Secretary to the President. I have not heard from them yet. I like to do due diligence by asking them first to confirm it. But I got a confirmed report that he did resign and due to health issues. Other news is that he's not happy with the way how these machines were procured. He raised some objections to it, and people are not happy. And as you all know, uh, Liberian welcome several new machines coming to the country. In as much as the country needs this machine, other people believe that it should go through the right channel, and it's not. That's not what they're saying. People are raising issue, but the ball falls in the hands of the legislature. They are the people's representatives. They are the ones who need to now take the issue of the government. It's the executive branch of government. So that's what's happening. So that's why we're looking up to them to see what happened. But also, I'm also getting information that there will be some indictments coming on of some officials of the we are government. I think they are pending. They are on top officials of the we are government. I'm getting information that they're about to issue indictments on them. I don't know, but we're here when the indictments come up. But I hope they are. I mean, I just want to give an eye opener. It should be expected. The Burger administration is going to come with these indictments. I don't know what, but we'll find out what's happening, what's the indictments all about, and also the issues about this. The issue of the ECOWAS, the former foreign minister of Liberia, Ambassador D. Maxwell Kimia, the ECOWAS chairman, the parliamentary chairman, nominated him to be the representative in Sierra Leone. And that's not a position that's owned by the Liberian government, but by the eminent ECOWAS citizens to occupy that position. And there was an objection filed by Minister Grisby and Foreign Minister Yanti to his appointment, his nomination. And the ECOWAS, my information is that the ECOWAS people was raised an issue. Why the man was part of the transition. He oversaw the transition from the Weah government to the Boga administration. Why are you guys objecting to this guy? I think he has not been critical of you guys. He's an eminent ECOWAS citizen. He has a very good resume. And why are you objecting to him? And in fact, Minister Grisby, they nominated former Foreign Minister Marjan Kamara for the position instead of Kemia. But ECOWAS rejected her. And so the position is open. So the issue was raised in South Korea with the Sierra Leonean foreign minister and the president, Mada Bio, when they went for the South Korean summit. I even heard again it was to embrace it at the just ended ECOWAS summit in Abuja. But I think it's not fair. I think this is the time to let go of this witch hunting of past officials of the former administration should stop. I think it's time for Liberians to come together. The country is divided and try to reconcile instead of fighting the former officials. I don't think it's fair. But again, we are watching it. And I think ECOWAS is determined to still have Mr. Kamayan as their representative in Sierra Leone. Well, let's see what happened. We reached out to Minister Grisby and Minister Yanti, and they have not responded to inquire about this ECOWAS appointment of Ambassador Kamayan. But with all of that, the news is we're still watching what's happening in the country. People are complaining. The legislatures, the legislators are divided. Some are against the way in which the machines that came in the country over the weekend were procured. I got a call today from Representative Yeke Kaluba, and he told me that they're concerned. They're going to be citing the Minister of Defense and the Chief of Staff to plenary to ask them why they allowed machines to go on the military premises with all the authorization of the legislature. So they say you'll be calling them in. They're raising issues about that. And so let's continue to dig deeper and find out what's going on. But it's about time that all Liberians get involved. It's not about party. It's for the greater good of the country. We should not say because this party is in charge or this party was in charge. No. We all should get involved and take part in the national discourse, because it's very serious, and if we're not careful, it may lead to something else. Just before I end, you see what happened in Kenya today. It started in Gambia. In the Gambia, they're having protests in Gambia now. Already, there are 3 countries from ECOWAS that have withdrawn from ECOWAS: Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. And at the ECOWAS summit in Abuja, the Nigerian president Tinubu appointed the Senegalese president to go and talk to these leaders that left ECOWAS to see if he can bring them back. So we gotta be careful. Things are happening around the world very fast, and Liberia is no exception. And we're gonna hope that our government will take heed. Like today, it was surprising that the president returned from the ECOWAS summit. Instead of him briefing the press, he designated the foreign minister to brief the press. And people are saying that apparently he was shying away from answering questions about the machine and other issues that are trending. That's why he sent his foreign minister in front. But yet and still, President Boga should be able to face the camera, the press, and interact with the press. President Weah were accused of not engaging the press. That one of my issues I have with the president, President Weah, he should be interactive with the press at all times. President Taylor was very interactive with the press. President Salif, President Doe, they're all interactive with the press. You cannot avoid the press, the media. You should engage them. The people will listen to you through the media, the press. But you always try to avoid them. They will start to speculate, and then things will just turn different. But let's have a good show. And Buddy, I'm happy to be back, and let's get this closing argument going.
Good to have you back, man. Tourmaline, it's a good thing to have you back on the show and to keep it going. It's just a whole lot going on. One thing you just said, and is interesting to me, that no, in the days when president returned to the country, they normally would have like a Thanksgiving service and talk to the press. They will have, but you don't see nothing these days. The president get back into the country and he go home, and that's it. You don't see any service or Thanksgiving or anything going on. The president will not even shy away from speaking to the press today, which was very strange. People are beginning to ask me. I'm getting calls from people who are asking me, "Is the president fine? Is everything okay? How will he come and tell the foreign minister to address the press? He's not ill. There's nothing wrong with him. Why couldn't the president get out there and answer 2 or 3 questions and talk to the Liberian people how the ECOWAS summit went? What were some of the things discussed and help? But he told the foreign minister to go ahead and say that. So I don't know what is going on, but I think it's kind of, for me, it's kind of weird that the president would not even address the nation on his return. I mean, the Liberian people deserve the right to know, because it is their tax, it's their money that is funding all this trip for his travel and all of that. So wouldn't you come back and just address the nation and share with them what took place? I think you should have done that. The Liberian people deserve all right. But again, for me, I was surprised when that happened, that he could not address the nation. I was really appalled by that. There were no, President Weah will come back and go into the church, even though he will. I mean, he was saying some things, and people were making fun. But every president did it, And when President Taylor was there, he would come back, and there will be Thanksgiving service for the safe return to the country. But nothing of such have happened since the president took over. I think he's traveled like 2 or 3 times, and there's nothing like that. So I think it is very, very important for him to have come back and just address the nation on what happened, what took place. But the issue again with witch hunting and say that this person should not take a job, I think it's rather sad. I mean, if you have a statesman who served your country for some time, serve as ambassador, serve as foreign minister, and you got a position that going to promote Liberia, I think we should country come first. It's not what you think. It's not what you have. The country come first, and I think Liberia should have been given the opportunity. They probably will go to another country, and then we would not have, we lost that. You see, so I think it was wrong, and I think the president needs to. I mean, they need a govern right. Stop targeting your former officials. Stop. I mean, on position like that. What did he do wrong that he should not have a position that was appointed by ECOWAS? So I think it was wrong, and I think it was not a good move. Really, not a good move to me. You see.
So true, so true. Uh, the issue, one of the issues that is the major issue now facing the country now is let's get it clear. You know, Liberia needs to be developed. Liberia needs these machines, the machines that came. We need these machines. Really need this machine, but and because our people are so used to see little things, and because past government have refused to really focus on the development of the country. So, and as soon as the machines were being paraded through the country, everybody started to be excited. Majority of the guys excited, started cheering. And before I could come, I remember I talked to some lawmakers, and they said, someone told me to my face, said, look, the too much bureaucracy to go through all these things there, to procure these things there, want to develop the country. It is true. But the question now is, we have laws in place. Now, there, first of all, the documents with these machines, right? They have mama accountability. So it's like she's the one who procured these machines. So, and she's the one who like negotiated and did everything. First of all, she's not the National Investment Commission chairperson. she's one of the ministers still up portfolio, which means president can send her on special assignment. But to bring in the number of machines that's coming in the country, my people, it needs legislative approval. Can be transparent. You know, it's so good. Their own rescue platforms and Spoon is the one that going after them with all these documents on them. It's so good that they have been taken attacks by their own folks that supported them. But there's no way you can bring all these machines in the country and say, because we want to develop the country, so we shouldn't ask questions. How the machines how were they procured? How did what's the agreement? They given to Liberia free. Are these machines free to the country? Will we pay any money for these machines? What will we give to get these machines? There's no free lunch. You know that nothing is free. No one will give you over 285 earth moving machines for free. America that love Liberia so much, they won't do that for free. You find all of these things, you got to ask these questions. And so we cannot say, because we want to develop the country, so people will do anything, break the law just to develop the country. No. I want the machines. My grandfather home river says we need the machines there. Every county need the machines. I remember the night that they had a debate in America. I watched it in San Nicolas. That night we were going to San Nicolas, it was raining. The road to San Nicolas is so nice. See the lights on the road. I felt so good. We're riding on the paved road. Yes, we want to see all our countries, the entire country develop and connected. But we can't just get machines from anywhere and just bring them and say, because we want to develop the country, we'll bring them. Somebody is getting something from these machines. And I want to say to the Minister of Steel portfolio, she got to be very careful. Her name is now all trending, all international wires now. And the legislature, the boys in their court to act. They better act appropriately because they are the people's representative of the people. They have oversight over the executive. So, and I'm happy to ask them questions now. They are getting concerned. Like somebody said, one of the lawmakers said, the lawmaker wrote and said that they need to address the yellow machines debate. There's currently no financing instrument in place at the legislature for the recent acquisition of yellow machines that the executive branch unveiled over the weekend. The matter is on the Senate floor. Well, for the record, when we received the loan agreement, they won't see the loan agreement. Okay, they say it is crucial that the legislature have full transparency and oversight on this, as well as on the acquisition of other assets like the police cars, the NTA buses. Lack of evidence to show competitive procurement is causing some serious concern and brings some major problems in the government reputation in adherence to the rule of law that could potentially lead to new sanctions of public officials. It is leading with graft, and we do usual Liberian thing to just ignore it. So, and this person is very serious. If they're not careful, because like I told somebody, the only time we get serious in our country is when America acts, because only when the U.S. sanctions people, then we get serious. That's why people can say what they want to say, but the election in America is very crucial for Liberia too. If you want to see things happening in Liberia to change, pray that Trump don't win. Like Trump win the election, he didn't care. He said, look, he ain't like Africa first of all. He said they bring in Christian people from Africa that what Biden bringing in America. He said they bring in people from the mental home in Africa, from the prison. Biden bringing America. And you saw the man say the first 4 years. He ain't like people in Africa. Okay? He just completed 10 different island Africa. That's why even if you're now a Democrat, I'm an independent. If you're not a Democrat, if you're Republican, if you love your country like Liberia, pray that Biden be re-elected, because Trump wins, it will affect our country. He didn't care about think about Liberia. He didn't care about Africa. And our officials there, they only listened when America acts. You saw it when America sanctioned 3 of the officials before they stepped aside. It happened during the early administration when they sanctioned Vani Sharma and Prince Johnson there. Prince Johnson decided to they appointed him on a committee. And what happened? As soon as they appointed him, the American government said, "We'll not give you 1 cent until that man removed." He stepped aside. When election ended in Liberia last year, Nukwe and Abacha went for pro-tem again. As soon as they sanctioned them, they withdrew from the race. Same thing happened again. Mamaka Belede is getting too powerful. She's the one that's doing everything. Everybody, her name is trending all over the place. It's about time that she take cue and act accordingly. Because, and this is why, as I end, the lawmakers must act. They must get to the bottom of how these machines were secure, how it was procured, and what's the terms of these machines. We want to develop the country, but we got to ensure that transparency is done. Welcome, Professor Kennedy. Welcome. Good to see you again.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you made it to and back safely. You know, whenever we travel, when we arrive back safely, we have to give glory to God. All praises go to God, you know, when you're traveling like that. So, yeah, welcome to you. Welcome back. Doc, how you doing there, Chief?
Doing well, sir. Doing well.
Yeah, let's see who we can piss off today.
Trying to recover from the weekend, but we need to. There's a lot happening, you know, especially when you talk about Friday, especially that stuff you put through with the lobbying team, and that was a real show. I mean, people everywhere I went on the weekend, people engaged me and was talking about that. Yeah.
Oh man, that thing. There was so much. Well, we're coming around to that, but Chief Tomlin was just talking about the yellow machine. I agree with him. You know, the country needs it, right? You cannot develop without having roads, because road leads to economic development. It leads to job creation. You will see, like in places like in Texas, they still use that whole FM, like farm to market roads. Once you have the roads in place where people can bring goods from the market, bring goods from the farm over to the market, it leads to productivity, because as you're able to, and it reduces the cost of goods, because transportation cost is one of the major roadblocks in terms of development. But definitely people do need that. It creates jobs. But then again, when we had I think the Minister of Public Works on this show, and we were asking, is there any way to sort of guarantee that the construction jobs will go to Liberians and not from people in neighboring countries? He had no way of answering that. I think his specific answer was the work would be put out to contractors, but they don't know who the contractors are going to be hired. So those contractors should be mandated that should be hiring, I would say, 100% Liberians to kind of boost economic activity, right? But the second thing, which I think this is what Tomane was really stressing, I don't think we know the true details, like how much the machines cost or how it's being paid for. One of the things that is so important, and this is what got countries like Mozambique in trouble, when people are buying or paying for stuff and you don't know what they're paying for it, you're putting yourself in debt. And the fact that Liberia is at what the IMF call a moderate risk of debt default, when you miss debt payments, you're in trouble. Because when you miss your debt payment, the IMF is going to turn the spigot, they're going to turn the faucet off for you to get more money. World Bank not going to send you any money. So it's important that the legislators, the government, full transparency, the people are in support of the machines. So there's really nothing to hide. People are in support of the machine, let them know how it's being paid for. Because if the can is being kicked down to the next administration, meaning we sign a deal that we said we want to pay X amount for this machine, but we're not going to start making any payments until 6 years from now, well, that's a problem. Because you're looking to you're looking to receive the benefit, but not pay for those benefits now. You want to push that pain further down the road for the next administration. So we need to know, how much the machine costs, how it's going to be paid for, and when it's going to be paid. Liberia has over $2 billion in debt. External debt is a major issue because we know the recurrent expenditures is extremely high, and a lot of that, when you look at the budget, a major part of the recurrent expenditure goes to debt repayment under the Ministry of Finance budget. So there are a lot of things going on. People might be exuberant. We got machines, we're happy, road construction, great. Well, somebody at some point got to pay for it. And I think that's the thing we need to look on, So, but yeah, that show, Doc, another thing that was important with that show was when we watch a lot of the questions that was coming from Representative Jim McGovern and was asking Alan White, who do you work for? Alan White couldn't answer that question, right? Because he couldn't fully disclose who he was working for until he blurbed out that the president of Liberia called him. But if you're working for the president of Liberia, then you're a foreign agent. Are you registered under the 1938 Foreign Agent Registration Act? No, he is not. The last time Alan White was registered under FARA was when he and Sylvester Grisby put together some group called the Renaissance Group, and they registered to sort of bring sanctions against George Weah's administration. That was the last time Alan White was registered as a foreign agent in Liberia. So he and that Renaissance Group back in 2022, they were pursuing George Weah and trying to influence the State Department to put sanctions on Weah. So I'm not sure you can call yourself a war crimes advocate when you're registering a company to place sanctions or to what's the thing that Americans always say? People try to do something to the elections, people try to interfere in the elections. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you have an American interfering in Liberia elections by registering a group that was going to try to put sanctions on Weah. Not to say Weah was doing some stuff. I don't know. It looked like the whole group that got sanctioned was doing some shady stuff, but it wasn't Alan White's business to form a group where he says Sylvester Grisby was paying him about $20,000 a month. Imagine that, $20,000 a month.
Wow.
Foreign lobbyist. But right now, he's not registered as a foreign lobbyist. So what exactly is he doing before the Congress lobbying for money when that's not his position? He's not a foreign agent. Well, anyway, those are the two things I wanted to talk about real quick.
Wow. I mean,
but the machines are important to development. So let's see if the legislator would get the kahunas, like they say in New York. They would get the balls to go and tell these guys to put out the information in terms of who's going to pay for this thing and what time.
Yeah, I like what this person is saying, Ella Foster. She said a small country with 2.5 billion debt and minimal revenue generating capacity. How would a country repay that money? Wow. That's a very good question. That's a very good question, especially when it comes to the revenue generation. I mean, how much revenue the country generates, and then you're still adding onto the debt, though. You're still adding onto it. The yellow machine too that is coming in the country. It's a huge debt. Nobody knows the source. Nobody knows what we're going to give away and all of that for it. So it's really interesting, Professor. I mean, when you see things like that, it just seems like generation upon generation they will be paying debt. Liberia will be in debt for a very long time.
But the ball is in the court of the legislature though, because they're the only ones who can really take issue with the government, the executive branch. Now, so we listened. We were told that tomorrow they go for session, and there will be some hearings on the floor. But again, knowing our lawmakers too, I mean, anything can happen. And the next thing you hear to say, you know something, for the good of the country, the machine, we need a machine, let's move on. Okay? And that's the fear. But the only thing that somebody was telling me today, they are check on this machine. If the machine is coming from having something to do with China or Russia, and America is not happy with that, they could cause problem for our government. Because there's something they call BRICS. BRICS is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, I think, and another country. They are the ones who having their block.
And South Africa.
South Africa, yes. So, and right now, you know what's happening in the world. Russia and China trying to infiltrate and dominate Africa. That's why you see the three countries I mentioned, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. They have been supported by Russia and China heavily. And they told the French to leave their country. They want to be battle with the French. And things happening. You just saw in France, the conservative, the far right, they won a lot of seats. And then in Great Britain, for almost more than a decade, the liberals took power. So everything is changing in the world. And so this is why it's important that lawmakers do their job. Call these people who brought these machines in and ask them, where's the loan agreement? How was the loan? I mean, where we're taking the money from to pay for these machines? It's not reflected in the budget. The budget is not in the budget that we pay for this machine. How will we pay for this machine? Where are they coming from? I mean, they got to ask all these questions. And then you got to ask this lady, Mama Kabinete. I mean, who gave you the authority to go do all this thing? Okay? Because don't forget, at the cabinet retreat, she talked about this machine on the ship about to come to Liberia. The next day, my good friend and brother, Jeremy Pierre, Information Minister, said it was not true. There was no agreement on machines, and that nothing was on the ship coming. And behold, on Saturday, was all we saw. We saw Mama Kabinete and others going to the port to receive the machines and decided to drive through the principal streets of Liberia to the AFL base, to Shuffling, to the BTC barracks.
How many machines they say coming in?
They said 285, but I think right now, according to my friend Martin Colley just told me, I think I will confirm it. I think already about 15 that came already. Very machines that came in already. And they're already in the country and more coming. So the question will be asked, how are we going to pay for these machines, and what's the whole deal behind these machines? Well, the finals. You can't just let it go. Somebody, don't tell me. I mean, Professor Kennedy, you into the finance era. You know these things people get when you negotiate for this kind of stuff. It's not just for free. Something happening. So these questions got to be asked.
And my man, you know the first thing we all learned that there's no such thing as a free good. Nothing is free.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to buy something like this, because these machines now, especially the big heavy duty machines, then it costs anywhere from 250,000 to about 300,000 a piece. So let's say, for argument's sake, we're looking to bring maybe about they're saying about 200 or something. You're talking anywhere from 75 to about $100 million worth of equipment. Where are you going to get the money from when you don't have credit rating? But the second thing is you have to put up some type of a collateral because, I mean, Chief, Doc, if you guys are going to buy a car, they want you to make a down payment. If you're going to buy a house, you have to put up the house or the property as collateral for that thing. So some type of a collateral has to be up there. But everybody knows that in most developed countries, when you go into build roads and stuff, you either issue some type of a bond, and then the revenue, and I think that question you put up, Doc, well, somebody, you can't drive anywhere in the U.S. without paying toll. You can't cross a bridge. You can't go on major highways without somewhere they're catching you to pay toll for something. But because we also benefit from the road, you generate the revenue through paying taxes, whether it's income tax or property tax for the roads that you see. You don't have that kind of revenue base in Liberia because people don't have that kind of jobs in Liberia to be paying income tax like that. So, but this is what got Mozambique in trouble. When you have someone cutting a deal to spend this level of money outside of budgetary confines and you don't know about it? That's why the IMF almost put Mozambique into bankruptcy, because when the former finance minister was cutting a deal to buy some tuna boats and nobody knew about that, it was like almost 2 billion. IMF said, whoa, we weren't aware that you were putting yourself in debt. Boom, IMF cut off the money. So Liberia cannot be in one of those IMF programs like the ECF. I think they're supposed to be renewing the ECF and then doing something that the legislators, look, man, you got to be transparent. And you see, it only looks bad when you try to hide it, right? But I think what they're doing is good, especially if it is if it's on the up and up, it's clean, it's transparent, it's creating jobs. People will love you for that. But I don't know. So that's my man. What's going on?
I'm good, sir. I'm good, Chief.
So first they were trying to lobby for Baga to be ECOWAS chairman, and they tried their best.
Oh, Johnny said I was trying to lobby.
They tried, they didn't make it.
No, but again, and let's agree that I was on the side of Waka. I would have advised him. If I was on the side, I would have advised him to not even bid for it, because the ECOWAS club, I understand the ECOWAS business. A new president cannot just come and take on the ECOWAS chairmanship. That is not possible. He needed to get the business orientation busy. If anyone contemplated that was a wrong step. I don't want to think they did that anyway. So I know you try to pull me off. But yeah. So
first up, man. But what's happening with? I mean, like I said, right? Let me get it clear. Look, fellow Liberians, we visited Liberia once the last 10 times the last couple of years. We need these machines that came. We need them. We need them to develop our country, to open our country up. But the problem is, and we know very well that the machines are in the country, they're not carrying them back. We can make all the noise, with the idea, they will not put the machines on the ship and carry them back where they came from.
It's still coming. It's still coming.
It's still coming, not going to happen. So the people say, you know something? We understand. Let your close we bring the machine in. They will tow the tire. The idea machine will be on the ground. It will boost up. It's good. But all we are asking, the proper procedure. Because tomorrow, when we see they say, oh, Liberia owe this amount of money. Liberia owe this thing. Tomorrow they say, okay, we start seeing two boot on the road. They start saying, oh, the money is for the machine that we borrow. So they got to pay the buy for the machine. All things like so it better we do it the right way so that our country will benefit and those who help you will benefit too. We shouldn't do it in secret. Let it be open. Let it be open to the public. Let be transparent. Okay? People want to see the bid that there was in a bidding process that took place to go to that particular company to get the machine. Want to know, okay, and want to know all the connections to it. It's better for our country, but at the same time, let's do it the right way. Not because we're suffering so that they might just do anything to you just to get your aim accomplished. So we're saying again, for me personally, I want the machines to be in the country that will help our country, but let us do it through the right way and be transparent. Pee-wee?
Yes, no, quite frankly, and I do agree with you. And I was listening to as a candidate, he was systematically saying some things that are very important also about getting into certain programs, get involved into. Now, listen, we all would be every meaningful Liberians and all Liberian citizens will hope that the country forge ahead and move forward, because we all can say, hey, Liberia needed it to be up there or move this line, but we have to do things the way we should do it. It should be in conformity with our due process and our legislative function in keeping with Article 34 of the Constitution of our Republic. I would love to see the machine move into the country, probably to see like 15 or 20 of them moving into Lofa, the rest moving to Grand Crew, Maryland, Grand Gile, Bapuru, Riverside, Bomi, Bon, Nimba, Kitmau, River G, Grand Gide, and the rest of the 15 political subdivisions. This will tremendously help our country in terms of opening farm to market road, not only doing our primary roads, because most of our focus now is to build primary roads, but begin beyond that we will have to focus on those secondary means of how we can commute. So ensure, because that will also help to clear farmland. Those that want to involve into mechanized farming, those industrial skills in that kind of way. The fact that the former agriculture minister is now the president of the Republic of Liberia, I will hope to see a lot of very huge issue. But to bring those machines in a way they try to do it in a more surreptitious way, or in those kind of an inappropriate way, I think it's not okay. Because if you're trying to do a kind of contract process, it has to be the legislature. Now you have the machine in the country. How are we going about that? So that's one of the questions the government will have to answer more questions. Or are we just trying to do a cosmetic show here? Are we showcasing something to do a kind of cosmetic move to just introduce bring few machines and let the people that are brother understand they will stop there? But we really hope that the machine will come in the country and will move to do the job of the Liberian people. But we have to do it in keeping with our own laws and our system and everything. But the problem about individuals trying to build their own political reputation in the need of self-aggrandizement is dangerous. And that's where my fear is. Mama Ability, I don't know her. I've been hearing the name. But again, trying to, if you were to move in as an individual, try to bring some maybe company or so into the country, we have to do it in a more appropriate and legal way. And I would love to warn them, because the Treasury will also department, the office responsible for sanction, the rest of that's the way a lot of inappropriate things can happen. If you indulge into those surreptitious deeds and have things move into the country for kickback, that is tantamount to corruption. So I would really think that we sit now and believe and call on Mr. President, try to move this process forward, build a kind of a line that will move the country, build the synergy with the legislature, and ensure that we will do it right and have the machine brought into the country and get the job done. For me, it's too many. And Dr. Peabody, I would love to be very sensitive on this matter. I don't want to be political, because people will say we want to be counterproductive towards the country moving forward. No, I want to be a little bit mindful as to how I engage this process, but it has to be done the real way. If we do it the other way around, to undermine the process of how we have to engage into development, it's not a good thing. So a lot more things that will happen. I hope we're going to discuss a lot of things. I saw someone in the chat room posting something about the former foreign minister, and I thought, I don't know if you guys discussed that already or so, but these are some major issues unfolding in the country. Let me say here, there's no sitting government that will come, and we'll have to be very clear, that we want to come and say and allow others to come and determine the process about their own role they should play. Every government, even the very Kenyan, prevented other people he thought that were not supporting him before from playing sort of major role. So this is politics. We should not be shocked about this kind of a thing. The government will play those role. The shenanigans will come. The maneuvering will come, and you expect those kind. These are behind the scenes diplomatic intervention that will happen. But I'm not surprised the government will try to kick him out for some reason that they don't trust him. I would not be surprised if that were to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, just on that issue though. But let me tell you though, that position in question is not for Liberia though. It's a position for an eminent ECOWAS citizen. But because the president of the ECOWAS Union, the ECOWAS Parliament, Dr. Toure, he decided that Liberia should, Kenya should be, he just became left as foreign minister, work with them closely. So recommended him for that position as ECOWAS ambassador to Sierra Leone. And but then to the surprise, the Liberian government, through the Minister of State and the Foreign Minister, issued an objection to it.
They would do that. I'm honestly what I'm saying.
And then they didn't stop there. They sent former Foreign Minister Marjan Kamara, and ECOWAS said, no, we don't want her. We want Kenya. You see? So now, and they didn't stop there. At the meeting in South Korea, they met with the Sierra Leone Foreign Minister and the Sierra Leone President again. And what's happening is that, unknown to them, the people was like, what's going on? I mean, why are the guys rejecting the immediate former foreign minister and the guy who headed the transition, and he had not been critical of the government, And to Kenya's credit, though, Sylvester, the Minister of Foreign Affairs today, Kenya secured money through the Saudi government and the Moroccan government to renovate the foreign ministry. And they even got about, I think, 15 vehicles, brand new vehicles. Okay? And they did a good job. But then to them to reject him and say no, that was the raised concern. But what the man did, are you guys trying to stop him from getting his position?
Yeah. You got no.
It's not, I don't think it's good. Because it's not in a position. I mean, like, if now, here's the thing now, as I end, if Kenya is not giving that position, Liberian get that position, they'll give somebody else.
Exactly.
So, because of politics, we allow the opportunity for a Liberian to hold that position to pass.
You know,
I think Minister Grace and Minister Yanti should do a better job. They should come to really reconsider what they're doing.
I think they got to stay out of that.
I agree with you guys on the serious note. It's wrong, but again, they have been a kind of a system back in our country. I'm going to stop this. It happened to the former finance minister, Augustin Gafwan, when he had to hold a very strategic job with the UNDP, and the past government also stopped that process. It was all around the area. Because you see, and we need to stop that. If we are competent and got the ability to perform a certain job, you should be allowed. There should be no politics playing into this. But you see, if you did it yesterday, others will come and want to do it to you. And that's the problem. And I mean, that's the kind of a line we find ourselves today. And we need to be very clear on this kind of a line going on in the country. We need to have competent people running the show in our country. We shouldn't politicize everything. We need to get politics out of most of those things and allow the competent element to play here. And right, so with the ECOWAS process unfolding, or what the letter written by the Minister of State or the current foreign minister or whatsoever to prevent Kenya from this process, it's just kind of a seesaw battle we find ourselves in. It's wrong, and it should not happen. If he's competent to perform, I mean, he should go ahead and do that, right? In other situations, I'll move on, and a lot more of those things will have to move through the system, a lot of that. But again,
before we work on the chairman, let me say this though. That's why 2029, I already got my. Look, let me be clear with you. I'm very clear with this. 2029, I'll be part of the winning team. I'm telling you now. I'm clear with that.
What a winning
team. I'm telling you. Listen, mark what I'm telling you. Whoever become Liberian next president, I'll be part of that team. Trust me, because I already know who my candidate will be, and we already started our movement. You just watch. Go ahead. Chairman?
Oh. But Tommy, you look like in Firestone with the red bricks.
I know, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of those homes in Firestone, the red brick. Like, you want to leave Liberia, right?
I know, right?
But it's good to see you back. Welcome back home. Welcome back to the United States. You're coming from home. We shouldn't say welcome back. It's your second home here.
I know.
Yeah, great discussion. Sorry for being late, and thanks to Larry and folks, Pee Wee and all of them. On the Kimaya issue, look, listen, I think it's a tragedy, and I think we do this. I think Pee Wee was right when he said this is something that we need to stop. Sarah Beslo Yanti, I have a great amount of respect for her. She worked in the diplomatic circles. Imagine if someone after President Bokai's 6 years administration or whatever, let's say he decides tomorrow, I don't want you to be my Minister of Foreign Affairs. Now, she served at the pleasure of the president. Imagine if she wants to go and apply for a job or because of her contacts she has made as Minister of Foreign Affairs, some international organization like ECOWAS or the AU recommends her to go somewhere, and then the government comes out and say, no, we don't want her to do that because why she worked in American government, not because of any solid reason to say, oh, she has broken any law or committed any crime. I think it's wrong. This is Liberia is the only country that I see we do this foolishness, where we pull ourselves down, we pull each other down to the extent every Liberian that gets out there to go ahead and represent our country in any form, shape, and facet is a plus and is a benefit for our country. You have Augustin Gafwan in Uganda right now for the African Development Bank. From what I understand, he's the country manager over there. He's representing the African Development Bank at the highest level. He's making the country proud. I think it's important. If there is nothing that stops Ambassador Kimaya from taking this position. I don't understand why the Liberian government would try to object to it, and I don't understand. I don't know what's personal about this. So I think, and from what I read, the story that I read, the ECOWAS chair has rejected and I think he's made his position clear to the Liberian government, and I want to believe probably it was discussed on this recent trip, because I think the president is back now from the ECOWAS trip. I'm hoping he gets the appointment. I think it will be a good thing to see another Liberian out there. We need more Liberian in these spaces, and the reason we do that, guys, is because it gives you the opportunity to be able to elevate other young Liberians who want to come into the foreign service or in diplomatic service. Don't get it twisted. All of these things, it's not just only Liberia, it's connection, right? What do they say, Larry? They say your network is your net worth, right? If you have another Liberian at a high, like Sarah Bessel, she was in the UN. She was, I think, at one point, after Ellen Johnson said leave, the highest serving Liberian in the UN organizational structure, right? Probably she was able to pull a lot of Liberians up. Maybe she didn't, maybe she did. All I'm saying is I think we need to elevate our conversation. All these little petty things that we see happening, denying George Weah the option of using the presidential land. All these things are, I mean, other nations are dealing with serious problems. They're dealing with serious things that are moving the needle in the country. We are still stuck on these petty things, and it is a tragedy. You know, the other day, and just a still segue to this. I mean, my gut was wrenching when I saw Unity Party and CDC operatives fighting about who built the roundabout. I mean, pray God tell me, in the 21st century, we fighting about, oh no, that Boyka Billy, that we are built roundabout. Every community they built in this country, go to Ghana, go to all these other countries. Roundabout is nothing. And we are making noise about it, and we wonder why we are stuck as a nation, and we wonder why it's like we're in reverse. We celebrate mediocrity. We saw a whole parade the other day with yellow machine and trucks, and everybody jumping in the street, making noise like they all got jobs and their lives have been improved. It's a tragedy as a nation. We need to grow as a society. Our mindset needs to change. And this notion that people, this mediocrity thing is what's killing the country. That's what's killing the country. Pulling somebody down because, they work in CDC government or because they work in Unity Party government. If the person is qualified and they can do a good job and they can go out there and represent the country, I think they deserve an opportunity to go out there. And we need to stop all this foolishness about, who better run a ball and who better other step. And who built the other? I mean, what happens when we start building skyscrapers in Monrovia? What's going to happen? We'll declare national holiday for a whole year. So it's I just thought that, that I include that because, look, we have a lot of problems in our country. We have a lot of problems. We need to get serious about solving our problems. Tommy, you need to move a little bit. The sun is shining.
Yeah, you can see him. Yeah.
We can't even see you. You got to move a little bit. So I just thought to bring that up, Larry. I don't know if any of y'all notice it, but we had a whole weekend, weekend of people making noise. Respectable people that I know were there on field. A boy got not baby, he be roundabout. We are be roundabout. Liberians, are we serious? I saw a video of the people teaching us how to drive on roundabout. Come on, man. 2024? Jesus, I'm sorry.
No, Ben, that the first roundabout now, so they got to please.
That's not the point.
Listen, Pee-wee, this is funny about the first.
It's pathetic.
There are certain things there are certain things, guys, that should just happen.
Pathetic. Yeah.
Look, we should wake up in the morning and turn around. How many times I live in Charlotte. The other day I went to Northern Virginia, the first place I lived when I came to America. I couldn't even recognize some of the highways and some of the places, the way they've changed. I remember 66. I remember highways, Interstate 66 that used to take me from Manassas straight to Washington, D.C. to go to school. It has changed. All that I have seen, all I could do was just turn around and be like, oh my God, wow. But guess what? I see the governor have program. I see Joe Biden cut out his day to go cut ribbon. I see Americans all on the. I mean, what is going on with that country? What is going on with our people? This mentality. And we round about that thing. I mean, that thing just threw me off. And I just said to myself, God, sometimes you ask yourself, man, God, why was I born in that country? I'm serious. What is wrong with our people? I'm sorry, guys. I didn't.
It's just, I don't want to even say what in my mind right now, but I think it's just how our people have been reduced to. It's what they have reduced the people to. That when they bring those kind of things, then they have brought development, and they will still more than what they bring. So when they bring the little output, just settle for less, and then they go about doing it. But it's really sad.
They bring trucks in the country. They bring yellow machine in the country. We have a freaking parade. Cabinet members leave their jobs, get in a long freaking convoy, and drive around the city like we end that hunger, like we found a cure to AIDS, or like we change 50 or 60% of the people's life, and the people stay on the sideway waving lapa when you go right back into your own dirty community that you even go. I mean, it is wrong. We need a revolution of the mindset in that country, and until we get that, I'm sorry, guys, we ain't going nowhere as a nation. Nowhere we're going as a nation.
Or Ben, like we build what we call the inter-county road connecting all the countries.
I mean, can you imagine the day we do that? Can you imagine the day? I said we'll have 1 year holiday.
Yeah,
nobody will go to work for 1 year. Mm-hmm. It is sad, gentlemen. It is sad, and I think that, Larry, I know, and I will end on this note. People, I'm sorry for cutting you off. And this is what I really wanted to get off my chest. We need to probably have a show here one day on mindset, and let our people. People are listening to us on the radio in Liberia. Let our people know that you deserve these things. You deserve these things. You are paying taxes. You deserve these things. The government bring yellow machine. Okay, we can talk about how they acquire it. But you bring yellow machines, you bring trucks, and you have a freaking parade. Like we've ended the world. We ended hunger. We not solve all the problem in the world. We need to stop. We need to elevate our conversation. We need a mindset revolution. Look at what happened in Kenya. Look at what happened in Kenya. You see what these young people are doing in Kenya. Yeah, maybe they went and damaged their Capitol building. But guess what? They're asking the tough questions. You want us to pay for loans? How did we get the loans in the first place? What has it benefited us? Now you want tax DAPA? You want tax this? No, Mr. President. We're not going to do that. Guess what? The president caves in. He caves in. I watched last day, guy. I don't know if y'all watched it. William Ruto had a live X, former Twitter now called X, a live Twitter conversation. Dominic, with almost 200,000 young Kenyans. That man took questions for 3 hours. Listen to that thing. You will cringe that you are Liberian. If you listen to those if you listen to those young people and the things they were saying to that man, asking him, reminding him, you, William Ruto, we elevated you when the system fought against you. Your own president didn't support you. You are chicken seller. We took you from nowhere. We elevated you to the presidency. You not forget about us? Yeah, that man apologizing to those young people, committing to them. And you know what I told him? Your verdict coming in 2027. If you don't change in 2027, Mr. President, you can rest assured. You can rest assured that you will get the message. But we sit down in Liberia there, we celebrating and trucks and to do. Then we say we are a serious country. I mean, look, anyway.
But you see, but Chairman, let me say this. You see, the young people, the protesters in Kenya, right? And they got a result from the protest. But you see, on talk about protests, you don't get just protest because they want to protest. You want result. And what happened? The president came out and said what? He said, I'm taking away the budget of the first lady, the second lady, and then he said he cutting his salary, right? Something he said. He took some decisions, major decisions.
Is it me or someone have audio issues?
He said what?
No, I think that you. We can hear him clearly.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Let me fix something here.
So he took a lot of major decisions based on the protests. But and the people, the protest, they not compromise the protest. Nobody say, oh, let me talk to you. Then they say, okay, we stop it.
Yeah, but Tommy, the issue about compromising, you know the beauty about what happened in Kenya, and I'm sorry for us sag-wagging on this thing, right? The beauty of what it wasn't planned. There was no leader. Nobody.
Yeah.
There was no leader. Nobody got up on talk show. It wasn't like June 7 where Henry Costa got up.
It was spontaneous.
So who you were approach? You know what the children did?
It's like Arab Spring.
Utilize social media. The social media will set our behinds on every freaking day and talking. They organized themselves on social media. There was no leader, so the government had nobody to call. Even when we wanted to have this town hall, the government kept asking. The deputy president gave us speech asking, who do we talk to? You don't change. Y'all will know who you need to talk to. So what did they do? They decided. They said, you know what? We announced that the president will have a town hall, a virtual town hall. It opened to everybody. So there was no, when that town hall started, you never heard, the only person you heard speaking, there was a moderator from the president's office, but it was open to, the man lasted 3 hours. He didn't leave until the chairman said, okay, you've answered all our questions. So now go do what you need to do.
And Ben, you know, it was referred to as the leaderless protest.
Exactly.
Because there was no leader in charge.
No leader.
It was just spontaneous, but everybody came out. And coming out, it led to immediate change because he took back what he started doing in terms of the bill he wanted to put out there. He immediately took that thing back. But that didn't stop the kids from protesting. They still continue to protest now after that. And it led to
they warned him. And they warned them. They warned them. You know, they told, and that's the beauty about what they did. They said, because we ain't got no leader, you ain't got nobody to call. To say, that I'm rally or dinga, that I'm the opposition, to say, oh, we'll bring AU, we'll bring ECOWAS, we'll bring the EU. You will be going in the slum to go at the children who come in the street. They warned them, Mr. President, if you don't start to do the things you are promising, you will see what will happen to you. We will
but you see, Ben, you see, look, President Ruto was smart though, because it came a point where I remember I thought he was going to resign because they were pressuring him.
Of course,
for him to somersault, for the fact that he started to engage the citizenry, and it helped him because, and then he took some decision.
He wasn't
arrogant. He wasn't stubborn to say, well, I will show a face where.
No, Tommy. The first speech he gave, he was stubborn. The first speech he came out with. The first speech he gave, he came out, he said they were hooligans, they were criminals, the state will be protected.
That didn't sit too well with them.
Oh, and that's when they said, okay, good. And you said with hooligans and criminals, you will see. Guess what? The next day, he came to his senses, and guess what? I gave him credit. He's a leader who listened. He listened. So my point is, before y'all come in, my point is, we need to get serious in Liberia. We're not talking about some of us. Some of us, we look, there's a whole Generation Z in Liberia. I say y'all join the street, though. I'm just saying y'all need to demand more. You're celebrating riot balls and yellow machine and tricycle and motorboy and I mean these stupid things. And then you sit around and then you think the government will respond. The president coming, everybody, oh yeah, look at the president come for those stupid things. Those stupid things.
I swear to God.
I mean, it's serious. It is sad. It is frustrating. It is. Sometimes you just want to say, what the hell was I born in this country called Liberia? When do we get it? When do we get it, people? We need to change. We need to change. We're talking about a loan with yellow machine. We're going to be paying for this thing. Joe Bwaka is 80 years old. He at the end of his life. He's going to be gone. That the same problem Kenya got. That 70 billion in loans they got, they're not willing Ruto took that loan. That loan go all the way back. This generation are standing up and saying, we're not doing this thing no more. And guess what? They will default with the IMF. Ruto said it. He said we'll default with the IMF. But guess what? We'll figure it out. So I rest. Y'all tell your show because I will be talking So I really, that thing was really beating my heart. I couldn't wait for the show today.
But Ben,
But
imagine Ruger was at the White House. He was being hailed by Biden.
That's what I'm saying.
He was at the White House.
Imagine Larry, if Joe Boyka had gotten a state visit to what? Holiday in Liberia. Holiday in Liberia. We get excited when our president takes selfies. We get excited when our president takes selfies with world leaders. That is the sick mind we have in our country. When our president takes selfies with world leader, it's an accomplishment. We get excited. Then we say we're ready for change. We say we're ready to change the narrative in our country.
Quickly, Ben, that visit was not an ordinary visit. The first state visit in 17 years.
Yep.
By any African leader. So the White House actually, yes. The first state visit by any African leader.
African leader.
17 years.
Yeah.
So LA visit was not a state visit?
No. You see, the U.S. visit. Yeah. That was a bilateral visit.
Yeah, when bilateral to the White House.
You go in front of the White House, they do all the parade, that's what you consider a state visit in this country. And not think we can do in Africa, where everybody that comes to your country, they're not state visit. They're not
I think I'm not two Liberian president got state visit.
Yo, President Doe had a state visit.
Doe had a state visit.
Doe got a state visit.
CRC Doe had a state visit. And I think you're not president.
But you see what Kenya is doing. Kenya got the man in Haiti there.
Yes.
Protecting
the troops there, right?
Yeah, they're just moving.
Yeah.
I see.
And what part of the reason why America was strategically leveraging her foreign policy instrument. They brought the president in, gave him state visit because they wanted to stabilize part of Haiti. Haiti is no one to go. So they brought him in, elevated the process well, committed some huge military aid to both the Kenyan military and the police, and pumped in close to $500 million in terms of keeping the peace there first and foremost, and there will be other bilateral engagement in the process. So that's why they did that. So he tried to build his country credentials by that. Unfortunately, there's somebody just try to move it.
He almost addressed a George
that's why the people can talk about the bread and butter issue. He can be doing other issues, but he's not handling the bread and butter issue. But us, we don't even think about the bread and butter issue. In Liberia, we don't think about bread and butter issue. They've seen men who hungry, that the men were that they see men who hungry in the country, that the men were opening lapa for the yellow machine to walk over it. That man would not get a job.
Right.
That the man was standing on the street and celebrating yellow machine entering. That the same people.
And how to the final minister resolution team. Is that correct?
That's what I'm hearing. It's not confirmed.
I'm getting information that the final minister actually resigned. Just got a call just now that he actually resigned.
Yeah, it's possible. Yes.
And so you see why? And a reason why he resigned. Robert, good to see you, man.
For health reasons. In the letter that he wrote the president, he's stating in the letter for health reasons. It's alleged that he's stating there for health reasons that he's resigning from his post as Minister of Finance.
Well, another article said that the man is well. He rejected the yellow mission stuff, and now they are pressurizing him to resign.
Something not right. I can find him resign in 6 months. Something not right, man.
But why the situation? We wish him well. The country.
Yes, actually, he's a brother wishing well in the process.
Let Larry and Robert chime in, and I just want to say,
gentlemen, if you guys watched this show on Friday, I'd like to hear from you guys on the discussion on Friday regarding some of the agents that are in Liberia trying to advocate for war and economic crime court and in Liberia. I mean, I don't know, but Robert can come in. But if you guys watch the show, man, it's a lot that was spilled here on Friday. Robert, go ahead.
It's good to be back on. Listen, since Doc, since you started on the War and Economic Crimes Court and the show on Friday, I just have to say that Professor Larry did an amazing job.
Yep.
Hosting and conducting that program. But look, I've always said, and I will continue to say that Alan White does not have Liberia's interests at heart. This is all commercial for him. This is business for him. This is money making kind of thing for him. That's just what it is, and I have absolutely no trust in his involvement, which is why I was livid when I even saw him at the Senate, and we had that conversation. I think we have got to be smart with how we choose to go about the War Economic Crimes Code, and I think all of us concur that that code, the time is overdue, right? The establishment of the War Economic Crimes Code is long overdue, and we need it. But the process, how we choose to go about it, will have an impact on the kinds of results that we have. And so when you have people like Alan Y and others, it raises a lot of questions. I listened to Miss Washington and a lot of other people that have been involved in that at that level. There's a lot of question every time these people talk. That there's room for more questions than answers, right? But we're hoping that we get this thing the ball rolling, and so we can have folks. I mean, talking about $45 million to $50 million annually, from what I'm hearing, investment from the U.S. Right? It's a lot of money. There's a lot of different sector that could benefit from this. It's a lot of things that could be done. So it's important that we go about it the right way. The yellow machine thing, I think that look, we're in 6 months. By the way, I called the finance minister not long ago, and he did not pick up. I heard about that news. I made some calls, but there's no confirmation on anything yet, right? And if the reasons that they're giving, health reasons, and then we don't know the severity. Just doesn't make any sense to me. If someone can no longer serve his or her position because of health reasons, they have deputies, right? The deputy will step in and act until that person recovers. And if it gets to the place where that person can no longer carry out his or her duties, then the government will speak on that. But to be hearing these rumors about, this person has resigned because of health reasons, for me, it just doesn't make sense. And I will wait until we hear some official announcements. But this government has violated the law. I personally would not celebrate anything that is geared towards development if this government fails to follow the law on the books. And by the way, this is not the first time we've gotten machines in our country. I don't know what county, but I know that there's some counties that have invested in machines, and in those very counties, we still have these very very same issues when it comes to messed up roads and things like that. You cannot just go to the market, buy stuff, spend money, and come to us and say, you know what? You should be happy because now you got what you never had before. This government is answerable to the Liberian people. And there are laws on the books with regards to how one acquires equipment for development. There are PPCC laws. There are you've got to seek legislative approval on certain things. We got to know who are those individuals part of these deals. We got to know the companies. We got to know how much is this money? How much is this loan? We don't know any of these things. You talk about 280 something moving in giant equipment, and you only have how many brought into the country of those 280 something, and we still don't know how much these things are going to cost. We know that road connectivity has been an issue in our country, and anything that is geared towards fixing that issue, we will all embrace, but we must go about it the right way. You can't break the law to address one problem. That's part of the problem. You can't do that. And it's sad that our lawmakers will sit by and allow these things to happen because they have the power to ensure that these things are not happening. The Barker administration cannot. These guys are, and these are some of our own friends. These guys are telling us we will go in the counties, we will develop the counties, we'll use this equipment, and then we'll come back and tell you how much it costs. And that could be a year from now, 2 years from now. It doesn't work that way. For all we know, these guys could be doing deals with the devil. We don't even know. They could be doing deals with drug dealers. We don't even know. We don't know. These machines could cost millions of dollars, like Ben said. that our generation and generation unborn will have to pay for. We don't even know. And everyone sat back and no one is asking any kind of question whatsoever. You have equipment in the country, we still don't know the country details surrounding these equipment. We still don't know. And what saddens me is the fact that our good friends, some of our good friends who criticize the George Weah administration on following procurement processes, are today justifying the efficiency and the lack thereof of what they have done. This is wrong. And as citizens of that country and people who have the voices and the platform, we must speak up. The Unity Party cannot do this. And if you allow them to do this, you are opening a can of worms for the next 6 years for a lot of other laws that will be broken because, according to them, Liberia needs development. So they'll just go about doing what they want to do. This is wrong. And I'll stop here for now.
Wow. Well said, Robert. I'm telling you, I mean, everybody is in for getting the roads in Liberia. We need those machines. They will be a great help to the country, you know, but are they all road equipment? As they said it, are they all equipment for roads? You know, I see water thing and all coming in there. There's a lot of water thing and other things that are coming in there. But the fact here is the Liberians deserve to know how this is going to be paid for. Liberians deserve to know how much is this going to cost. They deserve it. And if you can't tell them if it's a secret, then something's not right. There's something behind it.
But not a coach. But look at the police the vehicle that they've been powering. Do we know what the cost of that vehicle? Do we know what's happening with that?
The police chief was on the station the other time and said that somebody was donating 20 vehicles to them free of charge.
Who are these people? I mean, you see, these guys think we're jokes. You don't run a country like that.
You said somebody who?
He said somebody donated to the police free of charge.
Did Gregory say that?
Yeah, he said that on Spoon, that they're not paying 1 cent for it.
20 vehicles?
But who is this somebody?
That must be a damn good Samaritan to do that, you know. So he said somebody donated it to them. They're not paying.
From Gregory,
But recently we were told that they were taking loans from the bank, right? Toga, what you were saying that they went to take $8 million loan from the bank. So now you got 20 new vehicles. Those things going to be, you don't even have roads for those kind of cars. Those cars are too low. You know, you're not even bringing like a pickup truck in that would rather be able to plow the road. Those things going to break down the road like, it can't. Where can that thing go? Those cars can't go places where there's high crime. Where those cars? Those are like Volkswagen and things like that. You know, where would they go?
I want to ask you a question. Okay, if any of you guys, if you are in the shoes of Yombly or Fonati right now, how will you handle this? Because my question, my thing though. You know, these machines will not be put on the ship and sent back to where it came from. It's not going to happen. Now, like the people said earlier, we gotta be very, very careful. Not us, but those who are in charge to discuss it in the legislature. I'll be very careful because if you come up and say, if you speak like Robert spoke just now, as a lawmaker, they will say you are against development. But Rob made a good point that you must follow the laws. In a much of one development, you must follow the law. But do you think in Yombly and Fonati's position now, how do you think they will handle it? Because they cannot come and be seen. They cannot be seen as they are against it, or telling the people say you'll send it back. So how will you guys handle it if you're in a shoes, if you're advising them?
Let me say this. There's some conspiracy theory that have been popping up that the government of Liberia is trying to test the resolve of the legislature. Now, here's the conspiracy theory that people have been spinning to. That the trucks and stuff that came in are originally owned by B Mountain. That the government, given the noise, are not officially procured trucks or whatever machinery. They paraded with these ones to see whether there can be some public sentiment, right? Just like you say in Tomaling. They know that they are in violation of the laws. They just parading to test the public. When the public begins to hail the process, then they drop the financing agreement on capital. I'm hearing around 64 million. Now, by that time, just what you're saying, the noise will be all across the country. That's why they had the people in the street celebrating it all. That is to put pressure on the legislature. First of all, that's why you see only small coming. You're talking about 285 machines. I think straight 15 had that come. So they already, like you saying, it can go back or whatever, but let's test the public.
It can go back.
So probably, yeah, let's test the system. We go to B Mountain, you brought in some trouble, one parade in the street of Montreal, so we can see public reaction. The parade in the streets. Everybody's celebrating. Then they drop the financing agreement to Capitol Hill. Then when you are a lawmaker and you go against it, the politics begin to play in your district. The man is against development. The people wanted to develop the play. He said no. Then the politics starts to play against you. So it's going to be a whole win-win situation. But here's the thing for me. The Public Works Ministry has got over 100 equipment at the moment. I think the last time the Public Works Minister was on the show. The turnover note from the outgoing Public Works Minister, there are over 60 machines that were already brought in. I think some 45 have landed.
I remember you said that. I said the last administration procured.
Some 45 already there and more expected to come. Actually, machine are the country's problem. The country has got machines.
Thank you.
So what do you need 285 pieces? Why? In fact, the minister was on this show and we raised the issue of, but minister, you got all the equipment, because I remember asking squarely on the issue about, you know, whether he.
What gets to the machine, Toga? What gets to the machine in the country?
They got it. In fact, the minister confirmed on this show that there were machines at the ministry. My question to him then was, why are we even still giving money to foreign companies and other companies to go do our rules?
To contractors.
Yes, exactly. The minister's response was, it costs us more to run our own machines. He said the last time the ministry decided to do its own road between Rivers and Mombasa, it cost them $3 million. So technically, they need partners, the construction companies to help them. Now, why are you breaking in 285 to go do what? Many of these machines will sit there and rot because the entire budget for county social development fund is around 200,000. And I know that when you take the money from to run the machine across the country, 200,000 can run a straight machine one before I say to run 19 in a county. This is all a scam game. It's terrible. The same thing we're talking about the police car, the same thing we're talking about all the things. Where in the world one injured will just decide to donate 20 police cars to us, and then when they need mention, nothing. And you know, under the code of conduct, there is an issue about gift and all those kind of things come into play.
Maybe so it's bilateral gift.
Yeah, but then let a bilateral partner call a name. Why they having a bilateral partner? What kind of bilateral partner would they want to need? They want to need mention.
So I beg you, let me say this, and again, we have a structural problem here. Doing things the regular Liberian way. You know, we are a society that believes there is the right way, there is the wrong way, and then there's the Liberian way. We're a country that do that. I mean, we're the only country in the world that believe we have our own way of doing things. And so, without proper planning, first of all, what is the national development agenda? What have there been? Have technocrats sat down to say, okay, you know what? We need 285 machines. I hear they say 19 is going to go to each county.
Look, Ben, if you ask that question again, I will arrest you. Be careful, man.
Oh, I'm just saying, right?
That's the national agenda right there, bro.
Yeah, so my thing is, before you procure 285 machines, what is the plan? What is the plan? I am all for, I want the country to open up. I mean, I'm trying to get some land in Grand Cru to build a little cabin on the beach, the Sastown beach. you know, so that the weekend when I'm in Liberia, I can go drive and go. So I'm not against development. Look, I was all for the coastal highway. I was all for that. So my issue here is not about whether we need machines or we don't need machines. That's not the issue I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is, like I said, doing the same thing over and over and expecting another result. It simply says that we're a bunch of insane and crazy people. You go and you procure whatever amount of machines we have procured, right? We come back, we say, Boycott and I'm baby. Good, Boycott and I'm baby. He know how to bring machine in the country. We understand. My question is, where is the plan? Where is the plan? What are these machines going to be doing? Are there going to be stations? Are we going to have stations across the country? Show us the plan. Look, this thing is so simple. I don't know what all the fuss about. Then there's a reason why you have procurement laws. There's a reason these things are in place. They're in place because you don't want any Tom, Dick, and Harry just jumping up and saying, tomorrow, I got access to the president. So guess what? Do you know how many? Look, let me tell you something. Every time a new government comes into play, do you know how many investors can contact people with our new government? When CDC won election in 2017, when I supported CDC, you know how many investors reached out and said, Ben, you support that job we have. We can bring $600 million. We can bring so my thing is, guys, my thing is this. I think Tomini asked a question about the legislature, the speaker and the pro tem. I think they need to ask the hard questions. I think they need to do their oversight responsibility. I think they need to demand from the executive all of the information that they need to use to be able to be fully informed of the processes. And listen, if laws were broken, the government has to fall. People have to pay. That's just my position. If the president picks up the point and says, oh, there was a mistake, okay, people can make mistakes, but there has to be consequences for those mistakes. Somebody will have to understand.
But Chairman, so who should take the fall now?
Well, no, it's not for me. It's not about who at this point. We don't know that everything is clouded in secrecy right now. Now we do know Minister Mamaka Ability, right, is the face of this because she obviously have been the one who have been. In fact, she announced this to the country. She did, right? She was the one leading the convoy when they were driving it around the place. So clearly, she is the front person, and she will have to answer these questions. She will have to go to the national. I think the national legislature needs to summon Minister Mamaka Ability. She needs to go in an open hearing and explain to the Liberian people. She clearly knows. She clearly has information on how these machines were procured. So she should just come and tell the country, this is how we did it. We went, we discussed with this group. Maybe we fell short on so and so and so, but this is what happened, and this is why we are where we are. But without all of that, and then like I said, even when we cross that boundary, what I already know may happen, and I'm not talking it because I want it to happen, because I know it will happen. That Liberia, we'll start seeing no machine on the highway. We'll start seeing it in some kind of ministry backyard. We'll start seeing parts getting lost. Do we have 285 plus or even 100? Let's just say part of the thing is 100 trucks, right? Because you get truck driver, people can drive truck. But do we have 200 or even 100 or even 50 to 60 well-trained operators for those machines? Is this a part of the deal? Are these people coming to train our people? All of these things, these are questions that I think that needs to be asked. And I had a conversation with Senator Amara Kone over the weekend. And this is what I told him, and he assured me, at least, that the hard questions will be asked. He assured me that. At least one senator I've spoken to. I've also had a chance to communicate with the speaker, and he has said also, the hard questions will be asked. And one thing that I know they're consistent about is that they will not acquiesce to anything that breaks the law. They're very clear about it, because these things have long-reaching consequences beyond a particular administration.
In fact, he mentioned session, Ben. He mentioned.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know who's going to be president after Joe Boyka. And you see Joe Boyka then was running behind Gracious Ride for Finabono. So just imagine. So anybody who out there, I will urge you to do your.
That's where the money coming from, and the characters involved with the money. What kind of money you taking?
But I think they just have to give us more information, and there has to be a plan on how we use what is happening and how these machines can be used to be able to advance development. But this notion that, we need development, so let's just get it. That is the same thing CDC said. We take loan from the devil, we just want to develop the country. And these same Unity Party people were there making up. I see my friend Hassan's they took money and went to what they planning? Hong Kong to look for Igbo math. These are the people are yet defending this thing today. I hear him defending it. But hey, let the people then say, what they said, Jana, we're talking about Kenya, Jana, they say, I'm talking with your friend who are in power. Okay, our friend are not in power no more, so it's all right now. So let's call the country.
Move on, Professor Kennedy.
Man, there's a lot to unpack in there. Somebody raised a serious ethical question, when he was asking, is it okay to, let me rephrase what I think somebody was asking. Is it okay to sort of, I don't want to say break the law for the greater good of the country, meaning don't disclose what you're doing, but the yellow machine is going to benefit the country as a whole. So it doesn't matter, by any means necessary, let's just go ahead and get it done. So when is it okay for us to not tell the people, break the law because it's going to be? So that's a complex question. I don't even know if I have the answer to it. But one thing I would say, when you start bending the laws and breaking the rules, you see, we have rules to avoid chaos. You have rules in a society to avoid chaos, because the second you start saying that it's okay to break that's something they call in philosophy utilitarianism, because the greater good is okay for doing a little wrong, but you can't do that, right? That's just my view. So that was a complex question to my answer. The thing that's going to throw me off also with Liberia is when the U.S. government released the fiscal year 2024 Millennium Challenge report, the MCC Compact report, Liberia was graded very high when it comes to freedom of information. Liberia was graded equal to like Ghana. No, they were graded higher than Ghana. I think they were graded equal to like Ivory Coast. They were graded higher than Sierra Leone and Ghana for freedom of information, the ability to be able to share information freely with the public. But that's not what we're seeing happening, right? Because people are doing things that are sort of in secret. The other part to my question is, if you're in a position of like Madam Kanga Lawrence and Dylan, what could you possibly do? Well, if you are a lawmaker, you're looking to enforce the rule of law. You're going to tell people to come before the representatives and the Senate and disclose how they managed to get this machine. Is it a purchase, an outright purchase? Is it a lease? Because at the end of the purchase, what are you going to do with all those machines? You're not going to be developing road every single year forever. So what happens to this machine? Are they going to be scrapped? Where are you going to park them? Are you putting the country in debt? Because if you're putting the country in debt, that means your debt sustainability numbers will move from being moderately at risk of missing a debt payment. Bear in mind, if you read the IMF report, there were instances when the former finance minister, Samuel Twell, was asking the IMF to kind of, I don't want to say bend the rules, but kind of give them a waiver so they can miss some payments because things were so hard on them. While Samuel Twell was appearing and saying one thing, when you go to the IMF website and read what he was actually writing to the IMF, was completely different. So Liberia is at a moderate risk of missing a debt payment. When you miss a debt payment, that means you cannot start tapping the IMF for more money. These are important. These are consequential things. These things are so important. I don't understand why people, maybe there's a reason people don't want it to be disclosed, but you can't operate in this fashion, man, because at some point, this whole pot with hot water in it will boil over and things will spill over. People celebrating roundabout. I can get about 5 or 6 people over here and build a roundabout in a weekend. That's absolute nonsense, So, look, I can tell you, man, the legislators need to step up to the plate because we have seen the consequences any country that operates without the rule of law, we've seen the consequences. But at the same time, I'm a little bit confused when Millennium Channel Corporation put out a report saying the government is doing so well. So Liberia just seemed to be in this vicious cycle of just doing things the wrong way, and people will celebrate it, and then we wait, we say, oh, we're fed up with this group, we bring in the next group, they do the same nonsense, they celebrate it again. Oh, and by the time you look, you all are hit middle age, and you just struggle your entire life. But there has to be, Ronnie said he's going to be on a winning team. Come 2029, he's going to be on a winning team. But is that winning team going to be comprised? Is going to be made up of technical people to get the job done? Or we're going to end up bringing in some of the same rascals from, So, we're in a situation where we need to definitely have a conversation on ethics and mindset. We need to have that conversation seriously, because some people seem to miss the boat when it comes to ethical decision making and miss the boat when it comes to mindset. And that's why they're struggling. People are celebrating poverty and they just don't get it.
Yep. I think that need to be taught from the primary level, because right now there are people there who know what ethic is, but they will rather go against it because of the selfish gain. They will not change. Liberians will not change when it comes to ethical decision making. They will not change. They know it's wrong, but if I can benefit and be hailed and be called the boss man, called the chief, I think it will start from the younger generation to be taught in the classes. You're talking about kids in primary school and all of that. But the generation now, they will just go after anything they see. Anything they see. They will go after instant gratification, even to bring somebody who's strong, who is doing something, and bring them down. The generation will go after them because that's what they've been used to for decades. And they will not change. It's almost impossible. And you don't have a leader who will even enforce that. That's why Raul was talking about the family minister say that they pressure him to resign because he's sick. Now you tell me, who's strong? You telling somebody to resign because of health issue? Tell me who's strong. Who got a better health issue? I'm not going to go that far, but Robert come in. Who haven't spoken yet? Toga, have you spoken, Robert? Sylvester?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sylvester.
Thank you. But I think that the people the governance process, most often you want to understand both in philosophy and political science. Sometimes we don't go by ethics to do the government job or to get the people job done. Really, in terms of in some cases globally, even back home in our country, we have to come to the extent of getting consensus from across different political divides to ensure that a particular deal is going to get crossed in the interest of the people, not against the people, basically. So I do agree that we will have to sit as folks in government from all the political divide, and now we don't have the kind of absolute majority in terms of our parliament. No one group of political party can filibuster the process there and say we can come and do this. You need to come around, hit across the major political divide, if you will, the two major political structures, and then other independent candidates, right? You build this kind of alliance with them to ensure and build a very wonderful, workable synergy with them to get the job done. That's part of the issue. But one of the issues I agree with, that we all started, Ben were a little bit emotional when he started lamenting about this process, about the mindset of the people of Liberia. We will have to change our mindset. It's unfortunate. Most often we celebrate, we get involved in a lot of discussion in the country that we have those kind of negative or counterproductive effect on the people of the country. We will have to change the mindset. If you have bringing yellow machines that are going to develop the country, we will have to have the discussion. Are we bringing yellow machines that are half-baked? Or yellow machines that are already having problems, nearing and expiring? We just break them and they break down. Bon County had the same issue. When former Vice President Senator George Seaton Howard raised this issue, almost everybody in the caucus went against her. She said she didn't want development in the county. When they brought those machines, in no time, all the machines went down.
I agree. Yep. Nimba, the same situation with Nimba.
So we have to be a little bit mindful as to how we want to do this issue. It's not to gain the cosmetic political support. Seeing those things coming. Oh, the people coming to do this or coming to do that. Do you want to move some of those machines that will not even move from Zozo to go down to Yela towards the Guinean border? Or do you want to do something that will not even move from Buchanan City heading towards Cester City? They're about to see things happen. It's important that those moving machines are very pivotal towards our farm to market rule, our primary rule, our secondary rule, and the rest of that. But we have to do it in line. The legislature should have been informed about this deal ever since. That's what Article 34 is about. Now, why would you not come bring the machine in and you want to move to the legislature? I like what our own leader Amara is saying, that they're going to ask some very serious and hard questions. And I believe in the tenacity and his resolve, and there are other folks in the area, the Musa Bete and other folks, even the speaker. I believe the speaker will stand firm to ensure that he do things that will project the image of the country and protect the interests of the people of Liberia. It's already God enough that will do this. Because to bring those machines, just say, okay, the government is going to pay $55 million, $100 million for these machines over the period of 25 years. Now you put the country into a particular dilemma again that we find we will struggle to remove ourselves from. And those machines will just break down and be all across the country. Then those scrap balls will start the process of scrapping those machines, and folks in the country that put it on thing and send it back for them to start building new machines again and the rest of that. So we have to change that mindset and to have to go back. Back to my own dear brother, Robert. You know, the issue about, we have to take it serious about this issue about saying the Minister of Finance say he's going to resign on her. The reason we're discussing that because he's the Minister of Finance. And beyond what the two major news outlets are now reporting, that is alleged that he's resigning on the basis of that. It's also true that the information we're getting from people around the cycle of the presidency is also confirming that it was on the basis of that he wrote the letter. So we have to take it not with a grain of salt. We have to witness that process. The reason why we're discussing it is the finance minister, and we'll be hearing a process coming up before that he has not been doing too good. So now, the information hasn't been pressure to resign. If it's true, we will not get the information. Or eventually, he's going to speak to the. Has he been pressure to resign? Is it true that he really resigned because of the effort? But we have to look at it, Rabbi, on a most serious note to consider it from that perspective, because all of the information we get, unless the minister will come up tomorrow and say, no, our co has to resign. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. Because it was also reported by the last spring meeting. When it came in April, the minister was not that very proactive in the engagement of the spring meeting here in Washington, D.C. That's part of the report. The very front page Africa reported, the Heritage reported, and other major news outlets reported that about those things unfolding in the area. Even in cycle in the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, it was alleged that that are also associated with the minister's office alleged that there was some voodoo activities unfolding there and the rest of that. So you see, these are major political. no, it's not comical, but it's not comical. It's serious.
So that's not a traditional man.
No, it's not comical, but it's serious, right? It's not the first time that happened in the Ministry of Finance.
But
right?
Sylvester, Sylvester, on the minister's issue, right?
Yes.
My issue is, if the minister is actually sick and wasn't pressured to resign, why are there also news around that they want to shift him to Central Bank of Liberia in some role?
That's the problem.
So if he's sick,
he's
sick, if he cannot perform as Minister of Finance,
he cannot perform
how will he be performing at the Central Bank of Liberia?
No, he cannot perform as Central Bank governor. He cannot perform on the.
No, he's not going as governor. I think they're giving him some other role other than governor. But this is what comes to my mind, that he was pressured. Because if it's on the basis of illness, then they will not be thinking about transferring to another place, because illness will still go there to that new place going.
I agree. I agree.
When you go into that ministry, that will make him to not be sick.
So that's why I said,
that when the pressure comes in, so I want to believe from people that he's actually being pressured to resign. But being as the man, Robert, go ahead. But I think he's being pressured, because if you are not being pressured, if you are only on health, then it will not be shifting into another ministry, another area.
So that's why when I heard the news, I attempted to call the minister myself. I wanted to hear from himself. Right? He didn't pick up, and maybe he's not picking up on purpose. Maybe he's told not to pick up or not to speak on the issue right now. But I before the appointment was made, there were people who are close to the president who said that they did not agree with this appointment. There were people who have said, Professor Larry, that they thought that the job was too big for Boma Kumar. And there are other people who felt as though that he had performed during the last 2 years of Ellen's term, and that had he been given enough time, he would have done a lot more. And so, but there were people who did not agree that he was aggressive, assertive, or he had the requisite experience for that type of job. There were also recommendations, Sylvester, to put him to start him off on something lower than the finance minister. So that's a whole different conversation. But what I am saying here is, if the sources from the executive mansion can say, oh yeah, they may resign because of health reasons, whatever the case is, if the resignation have been put in already, why have they now issued an official statement on this matter? If the president have accepted the resignation and everything is all ready to go and he's in the hospital somewhere, what is it taking them forever to put this stuff out?
The source said the president just returned to the country, and he'll be briefed on this issue by tomorrow.
Yeah, but the president got the resignation letter. It doesn't matter where he's at; he gets resignation letter.
He'll be briefed on the letter issue tomorrow.
Yeah, but he can be briefed. They can be briefed anyway. He can be briefed. He can be briefed anyway.
Robert, the executive mansion is saying the Mansour say they don't have the information just yet. So they are saying that they don't have information yet. But again,
he resigned. He resigned. Trust me, he resigned.
So, if he resign, like Toga said, then they better, because I know Boma will speak on this issue. So at the end of the day, we will know the real reason what happened. We'll know whether he resigned for health reason. We'll know what happened, because if there's some funny things going on here, and he has been undermined, which I think is the case here, he has been undermined, and some people don't think that, because people have said the UP government needed a finance minister like the former finance minister. That's what I've heard. They didn't need someone who was so quiet, very timid looking. Boma is not a talkative kind of guy.
But he's a smart guy.
Kind of guy. He's a different style. He's a professional. He's a different kind of guy, right? And they needed someone like that. So if this undermining have actually come into fruition and it has come to the point where he's been pressure to resign, we would know. But I don't want us to speculate. We would know. Let them, hopefully they put the information out, but we'll know from Boma Kamara himself. One way or the other, he will start picking up our calls and we will know exactly what happened. But let me go back to Toma's question real quick. Here's what I believe. And this is the reason why I think we are where we are right now. Every one of our politicians want to be politically correct. And this is the reason why we don't need broke people as lawmakers. Because I'll tell you this, if you think that I have no interest in development and you will play politics, right? You will play politics to malign my name. You'll play politics to basically make me lose my job, then so be it. But I will not sit as a lawmaker. Listen here, the people who are elected, our lawmakers and our elected officials are supposed to be the one upholding the laws in our country. They should be serving as an example to respecting the laws in our country. And there is no shortcut to this. And if they fail to do so, they must be held accountable for it. You can't just break laws and think because you bring in development to the country. So what does that mean? What does that mean? What precedent are we setting here? And so to Toma's question, this is not a difficult case here. The question here is, did the executive follow the procurement laws on the books? And if they did not, they broke the laws. What are the consequences for doing so? We can't just sit as a country and say, oh, because we want development. Why did these people, do you remember there was a time where Liberians were adopting kids and babies from the country, and this thing became an issue when it came to people taking babies and taking them to India and other places? What did they do? They strengthened the law when it came to adoption in our country. They did that for a reason. These procurement laws, legislative approval are there for a reason. You can just go out of the country and say we're bringing 200 trucks, we're bringing all of these machines, but we can't tell you how much this machine costs. Is Joseph Boaga using his own money? Is Mama Car using her own money? It doesn't work that way. Joseph Boaga reports to the Liberian people. He is employed by the Liberian people. Joseph Boaga is not our dad. He's not our mom. They are not bringing food on our tables. No. The money they spend, it comes from us. They get paid for doing their jobs. And so we shouldn't say as, hey, Mama and Papa, just bring anything to our woman, just eat it. Oh, Mama and Papa, bring ice cream. Oh, I want yellow ice cream. Just eat it, yellow ice cream. You had it before. No, it don't work like that. So until they tell us how they got this stuff, until they tell us who they got it from, until they tell us how much it costs and if it makes sense, this should not be accepted, period. And Senator Lawrence and Mr. Kofa, they must stand up to this. We cannot allow this, and all of our lawmakers must stand up to this. This is wrong. What kind of development business you just do your own thing? You can't do that. You know what the guys are saying right now? Some of my friends, I'm not going to call people name yet because I don't want to create no issue yet. But some of these guys are saying publicly, we will take these to the district, we'll do the road, then we'll tell you how much it costs. It doesn't work that way. Development does not work that way. We must respect the laws on the book, and we must do it the right way. So for me, this is not a difficult issue. This is not a politically correct issue. If people must lose their jobs because they're on the right side of history, so be it. Standing up for the laws is one thing than rejecting development.
Robert,
So
Robert, from the opening statement, you talk about honor money at the ministry, of finance. Probably that the minister was honor money, but I can tell you that is not going to stop. The reason it's not going to stop because the Boaga's administration, they call it UP Alliance. Everybody that brought this UP Alliance has got a stake in how arrangements are done at ministries and agencies. Boaga is practically not in charge. At the Ministry of Finance, it's almost like a coalition government. Everybody almost in our legislature recommended somebody. Now, people are clamoring over taking the top role because 2029 is near. And the fact that many people know that Boaga will not be contesting in 2029, everybody wants to make money early.
Who told you? Boaga running.
I know it's a 50-50 chance.
Okay.
It's a 50-50 chance.
It's not 50-50 chance. It's a 98.9% chance running. It's not 50-50. It's clear he's running.
It's a 50-50. I would say 50-50 for now. When it gets to 98, we know.
I will make money.
The funny Boaga won in 2029. If Boaga won in 2029 win the election, I would never go back to Liberia again. If Boaga run in 2029.
Breaking news.
Boaga run in 2029.
Hey, Robert,
and he win the election, I would never go back to Liberia under you.
Robert, stop.
Robert, don't say that. Don't say it, Robert. Don't say it.
But Robert,
it's possible he can run and win.
You read in America. You read in America.
He's not running. He's not running.
Nobody is. I know it was.
Professor, he's gonna run.
And he's telling the people say they say I must step aside and I'm not doing it.
I see that woman shining. This guy is Sabu all shining. That woman be revived.
He was no good.
Y'all saw the
If he gets to that place, he will get on the
He's a troublemaker.
But Robert, you are aware that Boaga did not go to the entire Southeast in the last election. He still won the election.
Yeah.
Boaga doesn't need to go anywhere. Boaga just needs to parade around Morio and the rest of the team will go across the country for him.
I want to see more yellow machine coming in election time.
He doesn't need to go there. The man did not vote in the entire Southeast and the man won the election.
Yeah, Raul, you know what? Look at it's possible he can run and win the election.
The man.
He got the structure.
And I'm not too sure that President Boaga will even go to the Southeast in the entire season of the presidency. I don't even think he will go there. No plans.
The man came from a late trip in Nigeria, and you were not able to stay and talk to the press. Then that's what he will go to.
What the man going to those areas for? Those places
are 3 hours far from Nigeria. The man couldn't even talk to the press. Then that's what he will talk.
In 2029, Bwaka will pie around.
There were too much turbulence. The turbulence was too much.
He will go to places like Buchanan because they get Kuru. He will go to Pommy and go to Ganta. Finish.
On a
The rest of the
serious note, right?
country, people will go there for you.
The president is not going to run again. You know why? Because the president said he is a man of his word and he wasn't going to run. So unless he comes back and tells you, say, look, I'm not a man of my word.
Well, as Ellen Johnson
other
said,
than that, I'm taking at his word.
Professor, my understanding says you are for one term, right?
When she announced that she would be a formidable candidate.
Joe Biden said we're running for one term, right? Joe Biden said for the soul of America. Now he said because of Trump, Trump is a threat to democracy. He running again. But so no, I don't believe the guy when they talking. So trust me, they will run. But on a serious note, right? Robert, I heard what you said. But Robert, get it clear though. There's no way. Professor Kennedy can agree with me. There's no way the machines that parking at BDC now and shuffling will go back on the ship. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. My thing is this, right? My thing is this. Look, they can call all the congressional hearing. But the Ben said, the only way the lawmakers people will respect them and say, okay, you guys stay in control if somebody take a fall. If the cause of the pass of vote of no confidence in somebody from the executive branch, they will do it. They should do that. But
okay, yeah.
But if they say
maybe one person and the rest of the equipment. Saying that, but let me
I've been talking. If we're saying that, they will take the machine and put it back on the ship and carry it back.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's not happening. And then the last thing is I think people said it too. For politics, if anybody dare just say they start attacking and saying they should get machines, we don't need it right now. Trust me, that person, their political career will be toast. So right now, I gotta be very careful. That's why I said Yombly and Funati in a very difficult situation. They got to control the caucus to ensure that
Funati will get a real punches. At that, there will be actual punches from the Senate, but Funati will get. But let me share the phone with you. I think you remember in the last election, something Bwaka always said? Something the old man always said. The old man said in the whole country, only one man can take down Joe Weah and Joe Weah is coming back 2029. Bwaka feels only he can take down George Weah.
You see,
nobody in the country right now can take down George.
Listen, too many. Omen Joe, America Joe. You know what LeBron Joe said? He said he and Omen Joe, they got a lot of things in common.
They
know. And mind you, and listen me, if I mean, which I know it will happen. I don't give up and say, but if Joe Biden is re-elected, they give
Bwaka could be yes. Bwaka could be
leave it. Trump will
boost the CDC, and Biden will boost Bwaka. I'm telling you.
But Raul, the only thing I want to tell my friend, but Raul, we still want you, bro. Don't say that.
Win for Trump is a boost for the CDC.
We still want you, bro.
Win for Biden
it's possible the Omen can contest and he can win elections.
Yeah, but the whole thing is funny because Joseph Bwaka, I don't see this Joseph Bwaka right now to have any ounce of strength to do anything.
Not strength going to the way, my man. That the man bring going to the way.
For Tomalen, let me say.
You get to say, probably to push on from him. He said what?
I mean, yo, that country is a funny country, man.
And when he asked him, Papi, they strong. He said, I will not take you strong.
Let me say this. They can't.
But
I'm gonna tell you this though. If Joseph Bwaka attempts to run in 2029, I can tell you this. Some of us will be very active on the campaign trail in Liberia. I'm not gonna say for America. No, we'll be very, very active. Because look, we gotta come on, man. I think the one term for the Pape is enough. Let him make his impact. He served his country. He's done his part. I think he needs to serve his country well for the next 5 years and retire. Enjoy his retirement. But any idea of him running in 2029 for another 6 years? Look, we don't have time for this. But listen, if
the man can't be messy. The man can't be messy in Nima. The man can't be messy. Second term in Nima will be simple. I just want the Jordan to turn it over to Kun. They need my people full like crazy. Trust me, it's not big.
If they attempt to,
They may not carry Kun. If they carry Kun,
Kun is not seen as a son of Nima. He's not a real son of Nima.
Prince Johnson is pressing the yellow machine already.
Of course. You saw
Listen, the yellow machine issue is very complex and complicated. It's a convoluted process here.
Exactly.
If you went against it, your point your country will go against you.
What I said. People,
but no, I disagree. The reason why, because the people are not educated. This is the problem.
And
they don't understand.
That's my brother.
But then your office has a responsibility now to tell people in these districts to educate the people to say, look,
it can't be now, my brother. Bravo, you have to take some time. You try and not go against you. But
the man in rural Nigeria doesn't care about your intellectual.
Let me ask a question. So you're telling me right now, if I was a lawmaker right now, and I'm representing people from Trade Town in Grand Bassa, right now as I speak to you right now, all y'all know me and my mouth is very sharp. You are telling me right now I will have to suppress myself and allow this nonsense to happen because my people in my district will not understand the argument that I'm making?
Of course.
Yes.
And it will cost you your job. It will cost your job if you did it.
Like you. If
it will cost your job if you did it.
Around the same page, they'll kick you out, Robert.
They'll kick you out in no time.
Robert, they will not. Don't even waste your time, Robert.
So they will kick me out.
They will kick you in
because they don't understand what I'm saying. But I think
Tomali was saying something, right? Tomali was saying something. I technically want to agree.
They will kick you out.
A win-win situation somebody in the executive would be a casualty. I think somebody in the executive will be a casualty. Probably there will be a vote of no confidence in a very powerful person in the executive. Just to cool off the tension. Somebody will be a casualty because, from all indications, there's no wrong, but I know the legislature will definitely pass this matter. Everything that will happen on Capitol Hill will be basically filibuster.
I'm too much confident in this.
They will pass it. I know the people.
Not too much confident in people.
That's what people, the thing will pass.
I know.
They will pass. They will only play some politics around it. They will filibuster and all of that. It will pass. I know the country. It will not get stuck on Capitol Hill. The worst they will do is to maybe file a vote of no confidence in the person who brought it back, blah, blah, blah. And Baka will say, yeah, I agree. Let somebody be casualty. That's it. Beyond that, those equipment will come. Those equipment, the legislature will pass it.
Mama Carr does not work for herself, and I strongly believe that she would not have made that announcement at the executive retreat without consultation from the president. And I believe that this was a political stunt. Again, they wanted something to talk about. They wanted something to excite the crowd, and he was aware of it. And so if they attempt to throw her under the bus and have her bear the responsibility for what's happening, I want to see how that's going to play out. But she does not speak for herself. That announcement, from my perspective, was an announcement that came directly from Joseph Boakai. But let me say this: we have a serious trouble in our country, Professor. If you are telling me now, and this is, and I believe this is how people change in our country. If you're telling me as an intellectual, right, Robert, and I have an advisor come to me, Robert, let me tell you something. I understand what you're doing right now. You are against the fact that the executive have broken the law to procure this equipment. But the minute you go on radio to speak up against the fact that the laws are being broken in the name of development, which also breed corruption, because again, if we don't know how much this costs, who knows? This could be a drug deal. Who knows? This could be something catastrophic to our country. But you are telling me you can't speak because your people in your district don't understand what you're saying. How then do we hold these people accountable?
Okay, Robert. So let me answer your question for you. Your country, that Vlad country. Let me answer your question for you.
It's a word.
Two things. And like I said before, first of all, someone will take the fall, but it will not be Mamaka ability. Forget about that. It's not going to happen. She will not take the fall.
But if it's not her, then who?
We're not, Bravo.
Nobody.
Take it. Is it Jill? They were blaming on some kind of procurement thing. Jerry, last. Don't hang your head. Let me also say this to you. I don't know. Sometimes people are forgetting. Do you remember the audio that came out from the ministerial complex during the cabinet retreat? Do you remember what the president said about these machines? Many people forget. We got the audio. Maybe we should find it and play it. The president said, after Mamaka presented the machines, the president said this is a good thing. In fact, I'm waiting for Double Jala to tell me he got money for it. That's what he said. The recording is out there. I don't know.
But Double Jala can get money for it, or the finance minister?
Listen. He called Double Jalani. He said he was lamenting on the issues in the country, the no roads, the agriculture. He said, and this is a good thing. And I'm waiting. If I was telling them, I'm waiting for somebody to come tell me Double Jala cannot find money about it. And guess what? The whole hall erupted into an applause. If I decided saying, boy, God, I'm baby. Boy, God, that baby. Boy, God, I'm baby, right? So, for me, like Tommy said.
Was it the section that he said, the shouldn't put here need, they should say, build a bureau, promote the bureau machines?
Yes, he even said that. He said he told them, because when he was watching, because remember, she had presented the video, the promo video that first came out.
Yeah.
It was from that cabinet retreat that video came out. And his contention was they shouldn't put his picture on it. He was saying that, they think it's about the country and stuff like that. That's when he also made the statement about Double Jala. Look, these machines are not going anywhere. And to answer your question, Robert, about constituency, Robert, listen, one thing you have to give the Unity Party folks credit for. And I'm a politician and I can always tell people, when somebody build, you must understand their strength. Unity Party knows they know exactly what they're doing. You think parading those machines were by mistake? You think it was the optics? Your own brother and our own friend, I know you didn't want to call her name, but I will call her name. George Lobo. What did you see George Lobo post? You're not bringing it in the country. So. George Lobo said, we will use the machine, we will make sure the machine working, then we will pay them. Go under that post.
I said I want.
Go under that post and see the amount of
the man you draw, he the coordinator for the machines.
He made that call. I've been talking about it.
He did. And go under that post and see some of the well-mannered people who respect clapping for George Lobo under that post. For me, let me tell you something. I am not wasting my time because guess what? You can't cry more than the bereaved. Look, let me tell you, all the people need to do put that machine. And let me tell you, the first area they will attack on that machine, the southeast. They will chunk about 50% of the machine in our southeast. When the next time you will see, but you saw the thing happen with the $22 million and road thing with the public works. And do we even talk about it anymore? All you saw was public works putting a different picture from different side of the country. Oh, this corridor, our man Roland Kia, he said, this corridor got Roland B. What a corridor. This corridor is being completed. The other corridor being completed. That other corridor being completed. You can hear anybody talk about $22 million again. Your country not ready. And until you understand that your country is not ready, you will be wasting time. But I Roland beat them. I'm my own man. I can forgive. We're Roland talking, and we are attacking this corridor. We are moving on this corridor, and these corridors are working.
Corridor gettings.
And this one, Roland word a corridor. I told you the other day. I said, anytime I see you, I can call you corridor. So all I'm saying, guys,
corridor.
The people look. The Unity Party know the country they are governing. They know. They know what worked, and you see that the mistake CDC made. CDC came to power. The first 6 months, they were focused on personal things. You party people are stupid. I keep saying it. The people understand. You saw my own little sister, Cornelia Crab, the deputy for Cornelia Crab, did more posts on Saturday than I think she's ever done since the one-day election. Along the way, this is what we fought for. Boy, can't baby. He doing. The people know the country they are governing, Robert. And until you talking about you represented, Robert, you will not even survive. The people will stone you from the community if you go and tell them that they will not accept a machine and talk about procurement processes. That's why when Tommy asked the question, I'm not wasting my time to can't be making noise. Look, what the national legislature need to do is to just ask ask some of those tough questions, figure out a way how they can correct wherever lapses they need to correct. But whether you like it or not, you, your children, our children, those children that are ain't born yet will foot
We'll
their
have
bill.
a debt to pay for the rest
They will
of
foot
their
their bill. It
Yeah.
will happen. And it's sad, but that is the reality. That
That's
is the reality. Because you know the next group of people that will start talking, watch and wait for Zanzakawa and they'll start talking. Watch and wait for Zanzakawa press conference. The traditional council will have a press conference and say, the president trying to open the road, you're talking about procurement, he will add that
Yeah.
not good English there.
He'll be doing that if because they want to get him, or
Exactly. He will say that not good English. He will say that not good English. So I'm just saying, Robert, this is an exercise in fruition. I mean, look, it's going to happen. What we need to figure out now, again, like I said, I am more interested in the plan. That's all I'm interested in at this point. What are they going to be doing with these things? Are they going to be opening this corridor? What are they going to do? The other thing that you're talking, you're wasting your time. The people are racing to get in a convoy and drive around the city. Then you're talking about procurement, yeah? You're talking about procurement? There will be few representatives and lawmakers that will stand up and talk about it on the record, but they will just vote for it on the record. They will just say, oh, you know what? We oppose it. Musa then will just talk. And you see, he can be posting his own thing and he explain his own. He will just talk, it will be done with. We will move on. We will talk about something different. That is the sad reality, Robert. It's not happening. It's not happening. In the end, boycott and not baby. We agree. That the country you're dealing with.
Let me give my own closing argument because I know we're running out of time. But I want to say three things. History will be kind to Robert. Y'all mark this show down. History will be kind to Robert.
I agree.
The reason I'm saying it is and the second part is, I've seen these kind of programs sink an economy. We know, and what they're saying is true. This is what they're saying like around people way back when, during the coup d'etat, they were saying, or not coup d'etat, they were saying country woman, born soldier, all that nonsense, and it came back and it bit them hard in the butt. We've seen this. Sometimes people don't know what's good for them. But if you stand on the side of doing what is right, and what Robert is suggesting right now, eventually history will be kind to you because Liberia, our own vision, is kind of hindsight, right? We got clear vision after the fact. This thing is going to sink the Liberian economy. You can't get yourself in this level of debt when you're at a risk of defaulting on debt and not expect somebody to bite it. Not unless they're kicking the can way down the road to 2029, saying they're not going to make any payments until way down the road. But it's kind of crazy that somebody would lend you this amount of money without not taking something as collateral or taking something right now. I've seen this stuff in several African countries, and even the IMF being complaining debt is killing African countries right now. And it's because of debt that you're not going to grow your economy because you're putting so much of your money to paying your debt. This thing is going to sink the economy. Right now, everybody will be, it's like euphoria. People would be dancing, sitting there drinking, doing all this nonsense. But give it 12 to 24 months when debt payment kicks in and machine starts breaking down because you don't have the technical know-how to make the repairs. These machines require a lot of technical know-how. It's not, you go and buy some pickup truck to go to. No. You need parts. You need technical expertise to maneuver them. If you don't have this kind of level of machine, you need hundreds of people that will be able to maneuver them. You need a plan. You need a plan. How are you going to do the development? You can't do everything at once because there has to be some economic benefit over a period of time. You're doing everything at once when you think you kind of lead into development farm to market roads, you're probably slowing down productivity because now the road is under construction. Things will slow down for a while. You guys seen it anywhere in the US. Whenever there's construction, there'll be traffic. Things will slow down until the road is totally repaired. So the economy is going to slow down. At the same time, you will need to start making debt repayment on this stuff. They don't see it from that perspective. And Ben is right. Right now, there's a lot of people celebrating because they haven't seen this thing happen. People talk about it. But It's like, you know, the kid who right now is eating all the candy and chewing all of that, but later on his teeth going to fall out because he's going to end up with a whole lot of bad things. So that's why I say I think history will be kind to Robert eventually, because he's saying what is right, but people may not agree with it. That's fine. The second thing is, this thing is going to sink the economy, because when you look historically in over Liberia, every new president that comes in faces some type of a crisis. Mana Salif ran into an issue with Ebola. President Weah ran into his issue not only with just the slowing economy, but also with COVID. President Boyka is coming at a time when the U.S. is involved in several conflicts. You have what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. The world economy is slowing down. You have what's going on right now with Israel and Hamas, and Israel has escalated into Hezbollah. But there's always something that an economy will face. It will have a global impact on the entire global economy. So putting yourself in this kind of level of debt without a plan in terms of how to, it's going to sink the Liberian economy eventually, unless they have a real good plan that we haven't seen, you know, how they will make the payments and all that stuff. We saw this thing is sank the Mozambican economy. We saw that. We see it happen in other African countries. They inherit debt. We see Kenya getting inherit debt. We see Ghana had to fire the finance minister because the country was in so much debt they had to run to the IMF. We're celebrating Ghana for getting all this money. Boom, eventually they ran to the IMF for money. So I'm telling you, this thing is going to have a negative effect, not now, but eventually it's going to happen. So I can say history will be kind to my man Robert, but they can celebrate and dance all they want. But I am notorious for going back and showing you what you said back then and what has come to pass today. So the videotape will be out there. The videotape will be out there. All the people that are celebrating and dancing right now, we'll bring the tape 24 months from now, 12 months from now, so you can see if you can be able to dance to that, because the Liberian people will catch out. Not unless you have some plan that we haven't seen in terms of how you make the payments and how you do this stuff. But hey, that's my closing argument. So I'll swing it back to you, Doc. Somebody, or one of you guys.
The phone line next week. I mean on Wednesday for Let's Close Out. I think it's been a great discussion here tonight. So let's wind it up, wind it down. Sylvester?
I just want to say for 30 seconds, I agree with Larry. I agree with Robert. But I also retain, like I say, these guys are not playing the long game. They understand the country they're governing. They understand the mindset of the people. I just told you, Jess, on the $22 million road thing, nobody's talking about it.
It's done.
These has a way of coming back. Yes, it may come back, but guess what? Will it be too late? Will we just say, okay, you know what? Oh, yeah, that the same thing they brought a machine in it. All the machines are not break down. Oh.
A lot of machine like that.
You know, so yeah, I agree with you. I don't disagree with you, Larry. I'm just saying at the end of the day, it's you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, that country, God, I know, sir.
But guys, yeah, let me just say this though. I know we have exhausted a lot on the machines, but concerning the show from Friday, my understanding is that you guys showed the show you guys did on Friday there's some issue with the war crimes code now. It may not be going to full force now, because you guys are causing some
arguments.
You guys are causing some little ruffles, and people are saying, Liberian, y'all do your own thing because you're complaining already doing the one. So I don't know, but that's what message I'm getting though, guys.
Well, you can't have somebody in Liberia working for Liberia.
The show was good though. The show was good because what the show did, it exposed a lot of things, and people are afraid that first of all, we realized there are two groups fighting. You got a Hassan Belete group fight, and they how they call that group, the RJJ group, led by
RJG.
The RJG group fighting too. And they went in front of the U.S. Congress and started to basically show the people that they were fighting.
I mean, I saw my man Smith.
My man Avi there.
I saw my man Avi Smith.
I don't know what it did. They coached him. They coached him well, because Avi was like, they had the ambassador looking at him. They were looking at him up and down, and then Representative McGovern, he asked some tough questions. And
the only thing, Joe, when Avin said this person will not come near the court.
Yeah.
The other person will not come near the court. That person
So
would
tell
have-
me, even to the American ambassador, the
Yeah,
female
for me,
ambassador,
that was a shocker.
Yeah.
And it's not because she's the American ambassador, but I was very shocked that I didn't know that she had all these different attachments, right? But to hear them clearly say that she was conflicted, because I know she's been a champion for the issue, but like Tomini is saying, I think it doesn't present the right picture, right? Because if you go before Congress, I thought that hearing was for them to go speak from a unified, out of a unified perspective to go and seek support. But they went there and pretty much watched all the dirty clothes.
That's why the financial part come in now. Because when you dirty the other people, then you will be the clean man who they can trust for the money. That all right.
When I heard Alan White talk about, this other person lie on witnesses. So the question comes now that, okay, so if all these people are supposed to be involved with this person, what gives us the belief that they're not going to be lying on future defendants? Because everybody is presumed innocent. Everybody has to have their day in court. So are there people who have been convicted based on lie and misinformation and inaccurate testimonies? Have there been any convictions because of that? Because
I gotta run. Look, this thing. The thing that grabbed my attention was when Representative Jim McGovern came out before they even started testifying, and he said, "Look, I'm going to take some exception." He said, "The testimony of some of the witnesses over here," and he said he just got it the night before, and he said, "Look, I'm going to take some exceptions to what is going to be said right now. You're going to have a group over here that's going to attack human rights organizations, including Human Rights Watch. Human Rights Watch, everybody knows they're well known for fighting up for people around the world." When he said that, I said, "Oh, wait a second, something is happening in here." So I went and I read everybody's statements. So Alan White went in there and went directly after certain organizations. Then Michael Rubin, and I know I have seen Alan White and Michael Rubin name on the foreign agent registration.
And Michael Rubin, who used to write all the articles?
That's the Michael Rubin who used to write all these articles against George Weah and used to be praising other people. So they were actually, when they went to Weah to cut a deal, Weah didn't side with them. They got mad, started writing articles saying that the American government doesn't want Weah as president and he's going to be sanctioned simply because Weah didn't play ball with them. And then they did the same thing. But Michael Rubin has been writing a lot of bad articles against human rights organizations. I'm like, but why is this guy who's supposed to be a champion for human rights and World Crimes Court castrating all these other organizations? So they didn't grab my attention, But they went in there and then they just wanted to make sure that nobody was going to work with any other human rights organization, whether it's Civicus Maxima, whether it's Human Rights Watch, all these things then. And they had I don't want to say brainwash, but they have poisoned the mind of Chris Smith against everybody. I'm like, but wait a second. Shouldn't we all be fighting for the same end result to bring justice for victims in Liberia? Why are they over here? But then when Chris Smith asked Alan White how much money he needs in terms of appropriations in the budget, I'm like, wait a second. Is this the guy who's giving the amount of money Liberia needs for its budget? He said he needed about 39 million or so, 36 or 39 million. How did he come up with that money? Well, that's how they started off in Sierra Leone, asking for a small amount, and eventually it blew up to about 300 million. Why is this guy asking for money for the government of Liberia? Is he an agent for the Liberian government? No, he is not an agent for the Liberian government because he's not registered with FARA. That, in fact, violates the 1938 law. He shouldn't be doing that. Then you have Alan Smith over there who is clueless in terms of what he's doing or saying. He's saying this person should not come close to War Crimes Court. Says who? You? How you got involved in that? Master Washington, who did all this lead work with the TRC, all these people that should come close to it. All the human rights organizations, about 10 different organizations, should not come close except Alan White, Michael Rubin, Alan Smith. Total nonsense. So I think they need to go and reformalize the strategy. These guys, they need to register. In fact, I would say the last thing. Representative Jim McGovern asked them, International IGJ, International Justice Group, whatever their name is, you guys are not a 501c3, nonprofit organization. You don't have a website. Who the hell are you, right? Then you turn around to Alan White. Well, do you work for the U.S. government? I'm sure you're going to explain that at some point. But if you don't work for the U.S. government, you don't work for the government of Liberia, why the hell are you over here asking the U.S. government to put 30-something million in appropriations for war crimes court? How the hell? Who do you represent? So Alan White kind of shifty, right? Because we know there's a lot of money involved. We saw $2 billion spent on the Rwanda court. We see $1.2 billion spent on the International Criminal Court. We see all this money being spent all over the place. This guy is chasing the money. We need justice for the victims in Liberia. We need to separate the charlatans from the true justice seekers. And that's what this whole show was about on Friday. But in fact, it's going to go a little bit further because people have been writing letters and sending it to the Department of Justice asking who the hell is Alan White? Is he representing the government of Liberia? This guy went to Liberia, put President Boyka on video and saying, oh, you called me over here, right? President Boyka said, yes, we invited you. The guy is running. Look, man, Robert, don't get me started, man.
We got breaking news. We got breaking news right here on TCA. The breaking news is right here on TCA.
Listen, Professor. Look, I think the show was good. Don't listen to Tomole. Tomole just came back from Liberia. He's relaxing right now. He changed his location. Don't listen to Tomole. He'll be okay. But listen, I think that I think the show on Friday really exposed Alan White and those guys, right? And the fact that they are trying to do everything. And if you notice, Masa, she's a very strong talking woman. She's not she's not a pushover.
Oh, yeah.
She's not a pushover. And they know that very, very well. She knows that these guys have no interest in reconciliation and holding these people accountable. She knows.
Maza dealing with Toga,
yeah. She knows that. You watched that, right? I was so busy. I almost came on the show. I said, let me stay out of this one. But I thought it was a good show. And you know what? These are the kind of show we want on the plot. Look, sometimes we have to poke a little bit and poke. But the fact of the matter is, Alan White and these guys have no interest in actual peace and accountability in
money.
They know that this thing here is a money-making machine. Let me tell you something. When this court is established, the thing the government doing here, so we're not just talking about jailhouses. We're talking about hospitality, hotels. We're talking about restaurants. The kinds of things that will happen in that country, and the kind of money these guys know that they will be involved. They know they have to be a part of it, and so the government have got to be smart. This is about Liberia. And Liberia, Alan White knows nothing about Liberia. Alan White knows nothing about the struggle that we went through. Alan White does not know our story. He does not know who killed who and who didn't kill who. He knows nothing. We know our story. We will tell our story. We will lead on this matter. And this government must be very, very careful with regards to who they choose to be the voice of our country abroad on this issue. That should be Alan White. And I thought that they should already expose that. I'm looking forward to more of that.
Yes. I think we need to educate the Liberian people more about that. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. We gotta go. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, quickly. I have not been a fan of Alan White. I know he's a con addict, so man, he's a very serious con addict. I mean,
but you're allegedly afraid of him, oh?
No, but I mean, and that's part of the reason he's thing. Alan White started out here shenanigans about child.
They don't know any better.
Tactics. Yeah, he is. He's not something that's up. But again, that's it. That's the country we find ourselves. Those that should stand very firm to Mr. Webb challenging, and we didn't do that at the time here. Government, we needed to be very firm and do those things. We didn't leverage anyway. They say we don't have anything to leverage our foreign policy instrument that we have. We don't make use of them. I probably wouldn't have it. But I will end on this note. That was a wonderful show, guys, and I just want to on this via this medium extend my deepest sympathy to to one of our women from Liberia, live here in the U.S. for many years, Mr. Emmanuel Nuku Reeves. He lost his son. He lost his only son, Emmanuel Nuku Reeves Jr., a very young, promising, talented young man, 1989 born. He got killed, and he died. He died on the 23rd of June. We want to extend our very deepest sympathy to Mr. Reed and his wife
for the loss of their beloved son. The funeral is going to be this Friday in Maryland. We all go and pay our last respect to him. I just thought to express that to Mr. Reese and say to he and the family, probably I can extend sympathy to him for that. So that's how I want to close. I think we will be.
Thank you. I wanna is the Nuku Reese. That's Nuku Reese who have been very supportive to my church, Thankful Baptist Church in Buchanan.
Yes.
Are you recently in Ghana?
Yeah.
He recently also in Ghana. Yes.
So there is something I don't know whether Dr. P. But whether you ever spoke about it from the beginning of the show, but I wanted to put that forth in my closing argument. It got to do with some news that broke that the president's aide camp, that his aide camp was involved with corruption.
Yeah, the money he took from the people that he gave them to remove the building.
And beyond the corruption issue, I got another view on the entire episode. I know that the information is that he was giving some money for those people who sell in the smaller booths around the vicinity of the president. And he should have given at most around 1,300 to each person who running a booth to be able to relocate. In the event, he started giving some of them 300 and so forth. And the news reached the president, and the president had to say, oh man, you go rest a while, and they had to suspend, I don't know whether indefinitely or what. But here's the thing. I saw that action beyond the corruption aspect from the guy. I also saw it as fakery on the part of the presidency. Why would the president, who's supposed to change everyone's life, would say we must pay the people who get booed around his vicinity so they can move on them? This is the regular life of every Liberian. So why the president would be thinking that people who supposed to visit him when presidents and other leaders coming to visit him, the people along that route will not be selling input. And by giving them 1,300, then the president is not changing their lives so they can. So what sort of attitude is this? That because you live in a community, the regular lifestyle of the Liberian people must not be shown around your house. I mean, we should be able to create jobs, create opportunities for young people and all of that in the country. Then we'll not get people selling in cell phone booth around your house. If you cannot find that solution, and you think the way to find solution are to bribe people for them to leave from around your house, so that your house can know that it's the most modern environment around Liberia, but all these people still live all around Liberia doing that. In fact, there's another group of young people in Liberia out of destitution. They got a small megaphones. I don't know what I told my you saw that the first thing that can wake you up immoral. The first thing that can wake you up immoral. Loudspeakers, megaphone, people hold it in their hand, they get to the cell phone booths. I mean, they go to the GSM company or around. You put 1,000 mini on the phone, then you be setting it small. Then you just hear the men passing all in the street, buy your minis here, buy your data here, buy your this here. The government has found no solution for these people. Now, cell phone booth, all those things on the increase. We're not even thinking about attracting one or two companies. So I keep saying the bread and butter issue. The bread and butter issue, we're not handling it. But
so, let me ask you a question.
So, everybody that gets cell phone booth in a neighborhood, they must get their money so they can live on there.
So,
I thought that is the way to get people to stop selling in cell phone booth. Only because you want to appease your friends and your visitors that come into your home.
So let me ask you.
Coming to your home, it's almost like my children can
eat.
And let's be frank, it's serious, eh?
But Toga, do you support? Do you support?
Will be giving people money for them to start selling in cell phone booth around a hall.
Toga, something that they happen. Every Liberian president did that. They cleared the environment when they were.
Yeah, I want to too.
But Toga,
Taylor did it. Doe did it. Ellen did it.
No. Sylvester, let me tell you what happened here. The Ellen Johnson selling were different. For facility that houses around her that they pay off for security. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about for the president to be going home and all the cell phone booth along the road leading to the hall. He said they must take it off.
But they should not be selling there. They should not be selling there.
No, that's the hypocrisy. The Liberian people have been living like this for ages, and you say we want self-food.
No,
so
Toga,
guys, let me break some news to you guys. I know, but I know they will be in the papers tomorrow. There's already corruption rag at the LDA. There's a communication, but the communication is already out that the present leadership at the LDA, the instant $500,000 stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it will be in the papers tomorrow, or maybe by tonight. We'll see it in the papers tonight. The LDA, the officer in charge, and I think for some $500,000, they are already
the officer in charge. Is not evident.
Yeah. The report coming out.
Where money came from? That budget money?
But the communication with, but I wait for the people to come up because I just want to share that news. They're already racking some issue about corruption at LDA. So that issue about corruption in Liberia, I'm telling you, I don't care what we do.
If you I saw the men carrying food and other things to get to them.
All I can say until
the money they wanted to work for, which we were doing all that good job.
Until Liberia can elect that leader that will transform that country, and from day one, we'll just be in a situation. And lastly, I will find a time this week to share with you guys my experience at the central bank. For the first time, I don't know whether Ben before Ben, I was able to go to the central bank, right, to the vault. I went to the vault where all our money is being kept. And that thing people can say, somebody can open the vault and take money from there. I mean, the kind of process to go to the central bank vault was not easy. I mean, they have different systems in place. And I was so shocked when they were taking me on that tour. When I got to the vault, where I saw the Liberian dollar, the US dollar, the commercial bank on a deposit. Look, it's a process to go there. It's not an easy thing to go. So,
but human being got it.
But get it still. But guess what now? They said over the past years, right? People, the process was so easy. And I could just enter easily. But now to get to that place,
that's a morning there.
The process is underground too. I was so shocked. So I just want to say, look, I was shocked, and they gave thanks to the deputy for operations now. He might have Pearson. She brought out measures there. I was told. I mean, and it's so the process to get to that point is so difficult. I was shocked, but I'll share with you guys my experience in another episode. But I just want to share with you guys just for the time. But the central bank, you can't just go and take money from the vault and carry outside the pocket and say somebody open the vault and take money and carry outside a lie.
Not true.
Yeah, but the issue about LGA, watch up. But tonight, I'm sure you'll see it in the papers. But it's coming up. LGA will rock.
Let me do 30 seconds. Then I gotta go. Let me do something. Look, I support this government, and I support the. Let me be very clear. I support this.
What do you support the government? You can be firing the government. And
listen, but there's certain things I support the government on. I support this government, and I support the mayor. I support the mayor.
Nobody in UP will trust that you support them. Don't waste your time.
I support the mayor of Painesville and this government for kicking those street sellers out the street. And those guys that are selling along the highway of Burger House, let them go to the market. My man, you can't look. Do you know what's happening in that country? You go to EAWA and those people sell. 5 o'clock in the morning, you come there. Do you know how many dirt are left over there? There's no plan to clean the city. Why are those guys selling over there? This government and Ellen government invested in markets. Go to the market. You want to sell alongside the main road? Build you a shop. Let's start building skyscrapers. We can't go way back then. People selling cassava on the main road. They're selling stretch car on the main road. You can't even pass. Come on, man. That's the city. Let them go to the market. Why you should have all those boots there for politicians?
You don't.
Government continue to send them out the street. Let them go. Let them go on the market. You want go to the market.
I won't call me, but I told the chairman today. Watch out for Labro ambassador to Belgium.
Please, I live here.
Why he come on the show?
No, they come in and appoint Labro ambassador to Belgium. Watch out, y'all be shocked.
Oh yeah, I heard the name. In fact, it's flying into Liberia now to pick up a letter.
God day.
Yeah, George. The man is going to be
going to Nigeria too very soon.
So
the ambassador to Nigeria will be soon.
They're removing Ambassador. What's his name?
I say Yenembo.
What's he doing?
That Azigo Joy, he taking you.
Yeah. Azigo that he meta taking a job on him.
So Charles Solo going to be Ambassador to Belgium?
They're from the same county, in fact.
But I don't think that's a good decision.
They're from the same county.
I think they should send George maybe somewhere else. I think Yenembo has been a good ambassador in Belgium.
But beyond that, he been there almost 10 years.
But George Solo would
be. So he did the process.
George Solo would make a better ambassador.
Yeah, he been there 10 years.
George Solo would make a better ambassador.
George Solo is not a good. He will not make a good ambassador.
Look,
and in diplomacy,
he's not a diplomat.
Yeah, in diplomacy, a lot of things. Yeah.
My man, you know the worst on the street. Yeah, nobody own government job better.
I know.
Nobody.
Yeah, but they said they carry other, there's some information, right? Because when they make you are trying to protect his job, he said the woman that he met on in the Senate. The woman that he met.
So I wonder how much they're paying him, because the way George Solo can boast about it.
So what they carry?
He left CDC. He's an RT executive. He makes so much money. How much they paying him as ambassador to Belgium? How much they paying?
So now we're ambassador to Belgium. So all the ambassadors in our country, we have 26 active missions in the Republic of Liberia, because most of the ambassadors got competent
processes. The process,
right?
They are run for president. I will be you minister of foreign affairs.
Wow, excellent.
The salary of an ambassador, the take-home salary of ambassador,
no foreign policy.
$4,000.
How much?
$4,000 US. Take home salary for an ambassador
every month.
It was man John Kamara, the last foreign minister on Madam Energy study, that even elevated the money to that line. It was around $2,500 before.
That's a major pay cut.
The thing is,
so that's it. So it's not big money. So you're making 7 figure or 6 figure or 10 figure, yeah.
Just make 7 figure.
But all the boys say
but that's all lies. That man making no sense.
What's 6 figure?
Yeah, it's about that job. It's a very high profile.
The man taking a pay cut.
You are in the process. You are in the process.
Don't mind that man. He don't make no damn.
Ambassador George D. Solo.
The problem, Robert, the problem of the job is
we announce it on Closing Arument.
You are now representing. You are both to the
to the EU, right?
To the EU and the Kingdom of Belgium.
Yeah,
the Kingdom of Belgium, and the entire. You represent the EU also.
Yeah,
but that's a bad choice. You need a more serious candidate then.
Who are ambassadors to the Holy See? Let's get ambassador friend to
where?
Come on. To the Holy See.
To the Holy See. They only got Ambassador Crane got he's the ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary. So
ambassador extraordinary plenipotentiary. Right?
I think they should have given.
So Ambassador Crane is Ambassador Crane. He's
I think they should have given
the ambassador in Belgium also have a jurisdiction on Holland. You got jurisdiction Holland, Spain,
Luxembourg too.
I think they call them the
second nation.
Yeah, the second.
They should have given that job to Portet. He had worked there for many years.
To who?
Portet.
Who the Port? No. Portet is a career diplomat also.
People are trying to push a man again for him to Belgium.
No.
Portet is a career diplomat. Hopefully, but Portet is based in Geneva, Switzerland.
No. I know Portet. He's a good guy. I know that.
He's our chargé in.
Yeah, he been there long.
So Pee-wee, how they call it ambassador to America? With concurrent what?
He got concurrent jurisdiction.
So Mexico and Canada, right?
To Canada, to Mexico, the United States of America, Canada, Mexico, and that of Cuba.
we need to not have embassy.
What are you going now? What are you going?
You know, yeah. The Liberian population in Canada is
I thought you never going to Guinea.
serious embassy.
They said he's Guinea. He been recalled to be reassigned to Guinea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, diplomacy now it's about regimentation, right? You have to be well regimented.
All those processes. We talk about the processes again.
Yeah, the process. So the process was to send a letter of recall.
Yes.
Now, what happened, at the time, the president will send a letter of recall. You've been recalled by the president. And there are strategic reasons why you do recall. There are three kind of a recall: investigative recall, permanent recall, and consultative recall.
Thank you.
All that thing to remove you.
Yeah. No, these are the recall.
That recall a high grade removal.
Yeah.
All that to remove you.
Investigative recall is where you did something to try to investigate you. Then it's.
But I understand Sarah Brunel was recalled.
Yeah, you recall for consultation for private.
From the UN? From the UN?
Yeah.
But then they can change her.
They're bringing new ambassador to the permanent mission there.
But they say they can change her. Once they call you, forget it.
Yeah, but Sarah, the issue started from came out there. Came out, the first person that put us behind her. So he was the same person that promoted her, and he started the process behind her. So Sarah issue was that way. So they're going to reassign her. They're going to get the information is that they will be naming new ambassadors soon. I'm also hearing that our men from them go to Abuja.
No, Abuja, yes.
Abuja also got multiple jurisdictions, right? Because the ECOWAS and the
Togo, Benin.
Right.
Who found that now?
Aaron Formula from the former David Minister.
The D will cross in that player, not before Joe. He will cross D in that player.
No, stop that. That man is one of our major career diplomats.
Formula is a straightforward guy, man.
I beg you, man.
No, I'm saying that people, maybe I don't know.
You know who Formula people are?
The whole process is going to be a mess.
No.
What?
No, but people, you know who we're talking about? You know which formula we're talking about?
I will challenge you on this. There's a man, I've worked with formula for almost 4 years.
Found out Secretary General for UP one time.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it. I don't know who told you what about formula, but formula is a very organized thing. I don't know from the house, I heard a lot of corruption. Nothing happened though, but it's alleged. And again, it's not everybody.
I heard from the house.
That everybody, you need to retry that statement, man.
He dead now. He dead now. I can say it. And Baju told me a lot of tea that family growth behind in the house there.
No, but him Baju himself, I'm not being.
Okay. Yeah, but I deny him Baju attitude.
No, you're not honest to you.
Gosh, but people, before we leave, right? This week we're talking about we got a lot of issues on Doka and the Minister of Health. A lot of stuff that
you brought your fire.
I got my file. The Minister of Health,
including Agriculture Ministry.
That Minister of Health there, she's doing too many things. A lot of
people in agriculture.
I mean, I will talk about her. The Minister of Health and the local lady, they paying themselves.
God bless you guys.
Anyway, guys, we'll talk about it this week.
I'm up.
Thank you.
Well, too many. You brought everybody back. Then you left. Only my mom. Yeah, you brought everybody back.
The closing argument. We're closing the argument. I see you, yeah.
Oh man, I see you.
But you call it, you call it.